You know, I wish we would have rehearsed the thing where we go, hello, 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 hello. We didn't have to rehearse it. We just did, didn't we?
Close enough.
Well, I think that was pretty exciting.
Okay, see you next week.
Hey, everybody. Good morning to you. We're getting ready to go. How about you? Let's all go together, shall we? All right. Here we go. Welcome to the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Just ahead, we talked to Clint Cox with Texas 4WD. I guess that's wheel drive.
Yeah,
Okay.
4WD.
4WD. Mars reviews the Ram 2500. Plus, we'll have the events calendar. Later, we'll talk to Richard Tomlin about the PRI show and the SCCA race coming to MSR Houston. And we'll have a look, of course, as we always do, at stories making automotive news headlines today. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world, Mars, my twin brother in the black shirt.
Oh, gosh.
The return of His Highness.
And the
Ladies
rest of
and
them, too.
gentlemen, King Conrad DeLon.
Glad to be back.
We need more Jeff Zekin with his Cadillac shirt.
Oh, absolutely.
And I'm Buzz Lightyear. Glad you could join us. Thank you for joining us.
But you're not a fan of electric cars,
Did he have an electric car?
so how could you
No.
be Buzz Lightyear?
I don't know.
He had a battery-powered space vehicle.
Well,
That's
what kind of what
too much
what
information.
powered George Jetson's car?
Neutrons, something nuclear. Nuclear.
Nuclear.
The Pointer Sisters.
The Pointer Sisters. Hey, it's a great Saturday morning, live from Houston, Texas. It's the In Wheel Time Car Talk
Not
Show.
anymore.
Yeah, and obviously the madness has begun. The caffeine has kicked in, and we're all raring to go.
If you say so.
Raring.
Raring.
Raring to go. Mm-hmm. So, Conrad, you know, you didn't bring back a souvenir hammer or anything from California?
Spent a lot of time with the family, which was fun.
Yeah.
Went to Rochelle's place. She just, she sold her house back in April and bought her a new house, a new build.
Where is she?
Clovis, California, which
Clovis.
is a suburb of Fresno. So
Okay.
still in Fresno.
All right. And what is she doing these days?
She's still doing event planning and wedding planner.
Okay, gotcha.
Ready to do yours.
I'm good right now. Thanks.
Okay.
Thanks for asking. We're going to fly her in?
Sure.
Sure. You can go ahead and flip that bill.
Probably would.
Mr. Mars, how have you been this week, sir?
Been good this week.
And he obviously preoccupied over there with
Well,
somebody
our
or doing
guest, I'm
something.
trying to get our first guest, trying to get the audio test with him, but it was a good week. We had actually got some stuff done.
Without the internet?
Up until the internet crashed yesterday. But
That seems to be an ongoing issue over there in the
usually it's-
Neederville intergalactic area.
yes, it's the satellite, the cloud cover, and the satellite doesn't come through.
The cloud cover and the satellite. The cloud cover is caused by pollution.
Over there.
So we're going to blame it on global warming that I can't get internet sometimes.
That's it. Global warming.
Everything else seems to be working.
Because when you
otherwise.
come over is that the Sunshine Bridge? What's that bridge you come over from Orange?
The Orange Bridge, the Rainbow Bridge.
The Rainbow Bridge. And you just kind of
That's-
see
that's
all
the
of...
one that your dog passes over when they pass on, the Rainbow Bridge.
I thought it was a San Francisco thing. No, that's the Golden Gate Bridge.
Same.
But when you drive over that into Port Arthur, Nederland from at night, the whole city's glowing orange.
From the fires, from the flare stacks of the refinery.
Yes,
And the orange.
I can't hear you, Mike. Yeah, you got to put your microphone on to be able to talk.
you're saying that, and the orange lights they use
The
to
safety lights. That way, because they don't want you to see the green. Everybody glowing green.
Okay, that's it.
Yep.
And Jeffrey,
Yes, sir.
how's the Cadillac running?
Good. Yep.
Good,
Yep,
good to
everything's
hear.
fine.
Was it not running good?
No.
No, I was just
perfect.
checking.
You just checking.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be an exciting morning. Is our first guest ready to go?
Yes, sir. I believe so.
All right, well, let's just give it an old shot here and talk to Mr. Clint Cox with Texas Four-Wheel Drive. Clint, hello. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you, gentlemen?
Wow, you sound really good this morning coming through the intergalactic space connection that we have with you this morning.
So do you, actually. That's what I hear.
Okay, well, that's good to know. Texas Four-Wheel Drive, where are you based out of?
Houston.
Houston, Texas. Okay,
Yes, sir.
Very good. Well, I would imagine with the popularity of four-wheel drive SUVs, Jeeps, Broncos, and whatever homemade thing that you've got, or that's always what I've always wanted.
Homemade?
A homemade four-wheel drive, kind of like a Myers-Manx, but my own creation. And I just think that would be really cool.
could do that
Do you
to a
have
vet.
any of those things in your club?
Let's do it to your vet.
Did we lose him?
I'm sorry?
Did we lose you?
No, I'm here.
Okay.
I was just trying. I'm still having trouble understanding.
So do you have any homemade four-wheel drive vehicles in the club?
Homemade?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They are typically of the tube chassis LS motor 1-ton variety. Nothing. Nothing like a Myers-Manx.
Okay. Well, that's okay. It doesn't mean it has to be a Myers-Manx. It could be anything.
No. I mean, usually, so me and my friends usually say that to go off-road, especially in an off-road club and some of the terrain that we tackle, you pretty much have to be, you're about 90% mechanic, fabricator, and 10% driver.
Yeah.
Because things like this happen.
Yes, I can only imagine. So I would imagine also that you have a friend/spotter to help you not get into trouble like that behind you.
Sometimes, yeah. Usually, I mean, we're doing some pretty difficult trails that require that. We just can't see out. We can't see everything.
Correct.
So
I know from my little experience that I have when I was given the opportunity to drive, for instance, a Jeep Wrangler, four-wheel drive, had all the gearing, the correct stuff to get over.
were you out in San Antonio?
Near the San Antonio area, Kennedy Ranch to be specific. You really got to be on your game. Speed is not your friend, and
No.
you got to really point the wheels in the direction that you want to go and look to make sure it's not going to slip off of some rock and have you going sideways down the hill.
Or slip off of a rock and puncture a tire or pop a bead?
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot to it. It's tons of fun and very challenging depending on the course.
It can be, yeah.
Yeah. So where do you guys go?
So we go all over. So Texas is private. 97% of Texas is privately owned. So there's not like BLM land like Utah, Colorado, stuff like that. So we end up going to actual private parks
Yep.
that people develop throughout the state.
Where do you go around Houston?
I'm sorry?
Where do you go around Houston?
You don't?
Ah. Okay. Good. That's it.
You have to travel somewhere, clearly. And do you trailer or do you drive to the locations?
No,
Both.
that thing gets trailered everywhere it goes.
Yeah. Well, that's understandable.
Well, with the gear ratio, I'm sure you want a trailer, something like that.
Yeah.
It'd be expensive.
Unless
to
you could
drive
get there at 35 miles an hour.
it at
Well,
wide
no,
open
actually,
throttle.
that thing has got. It's actually got decent trail. It's actually got decent road manners. It'll cruise comfortably about 65 miles an hour at about 2,200 RPMs.
That's not bad.
Now, with 40-inch tall tires and 539 gears, it does okay.
539. Wow. It sounds like some of the drag racers that I used to know back in the day. What do you got? What kind of rear end you got in that thing? Oh, it ain't no 410. We got a 539 in it. We're only doing 10,000 RPM as we cross a quarter mile in fourth gear.
So you say there's really no place in the Houston area. when I got my first H2, I went out to Spring Creek out there on the north side.
I used to go out there.
So, but that's not available anymore.
No, Spring Creek has been privately developed years ago into what it is now. I think it's just a nature area and a nature park. Around Houston itself, inside of Houston, Houston and very small surrounding areas, there's not really much. There's just a bunch of mud parks, and I'm not really interested in doing mud stuff.
No, because that's a whole other category.
It is. So for me to go out, for me and my buddies to go out, I mean, you load them on the trailer and you're committed to at least 2, 3 hour, 4 hour, 5 hour drive.
Yeah.
Isn't there a place up near Madisonville, up 45 near Madisonville? I see signs for it. Is that not something you guys would go to?
That is another flatland mud park. I mean, in order to get to any kind of geographic, something that we would actually want to tackle, like hills or stuff like that, you'd have to go to either East Texas or around Austin, north of Austin area.
Like, isn't there a park over there by Marble Falls somewhere?
Hidden Falls.
Hidden Falls. Okay.
We've been to Hidden Falls. That particular picture was taken at an off-road park that is a private, only open 6 times a year, located outside of Llano.
And when you say private, generally, I'm assuming that there's a fee to get on property.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
What are those fees kind of average as you?
Usually they average about $25 to $35 a day.
That's not bad.
That's not bad. Yeah.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to say $25, $35 an hour.
Or, $100 for the day.
Yeah, $100 for the day. Okay, so let's talk about some of the vehicles. What's the most popular vehicle? I think I know what the answer to this is. The most popular vehicle in your club?
It's a 4-letter word, and it's not a Ford.
Yeah, I got that. And I assume that the second word in that is Wrangler.
Yeah.
I was thinking Yugo.
Yeah. That.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot the Yugo.
My other question to you, do you have anybody that's got a Bronco yet, a new Bronco?
I'm sorry?
Do you have anyone that has a Bronco in your organization?
One of the new Broncos.
That was completely garbage. I do apologize.
One of the new Ford Broncos.
Oh, Ford Bronco. Yeah, I mean, we haven't had any. We've had a couple come out, but they're so expensive these days and so expensive to modify that there's not really a whole lot of people that are building them, into legit dedicated rock crawlers. But that's okay. I mean, with Texas 4-wheel drive, we honestly want everyone to come out and everyone to experience being outdoors, being away from the city for a while.
Well, I have to tell you that a couple of weeks ago, I had the opportunity to drive the brand new Ford Bronco Raptor. That is an awesome vehicle, and I can only imagine from the factory, this thing is a factory-made rock crawler, if that's what you want to do with it. It was an awesome vehicle with the twin turbocharged V6 in it. This one had an automatic transmission in it. It worked wonderfully. Paddle shift, I mean, everything that you could possibly want. It was expensive.
But doesn't that defeat the purpose of rock crawling? Paddle shifters, high horsepower, blah, blah. Comfort.
It depends on what you want, I think.
Because I think, with Clint here, that they're kind of getting back to the basics of the vehicle versus the terrain.
Well, I mean, I would think that traditionally you're correct in the fact that it would be a manual transmission. However, that goes hand in hand with why aren't Corvettes offered in manual transmissions anymore? Because the automatic transmissions have gotten to the point where they're really efficient. And I would imagine the same thing holds true in four-wheel drive.
Yeah, well, that Jeep is a manual, but the most of the guys out there are wheeling. They've converted to automatics. And the horsepower thing, I mean, it's okay. I mean, yeah, it's nice. It's not really necessary. When we're crawling around, we don't really need, we need torque. We don't need horsepower.
Right, right.
Mm-hmm. Do you have anybody in your club that has the diesel Jeep Wrangler?
I have not. I'm pretty sure we do. I haven't wheeled with them, but yeah, there are some diesels out there.
Because to me, I think that the ultimate would be something with a diesel in it, because that's all what it's all about.
Low end torque.
Lower end torque, and it seems to me that it'd be very efficient going through the rocks and the terrain.
But you're also blowing coal in nature, so you're having all that soot and exhaust.
Well, look at you, Mr. Tree Hugger. Oh, my God. You talk about a party pooper, invite Jeff, okay? Yeah, I can't imagine that there would be that many Jeep diesels out there that are blowing soot.
Yeah, that are rolling coal.
Yeah, no,
Well, my experience is, the Jeep crowd tend to leave an area cleaner than they found it.
True, yeah.
Those that, yes, and especially in clubs, you got people that are well aware of all of that sort of thing. Yeah, I got it. So do you guys have meetings? Do you all just get together for these rock crawls or whatever it is, off-roading parties that you do?
Yeah, we're not really a social club. We'll do some social things. Like after this, I'm going to a social thing. But the most of the time, Texas 4-Wheel Drive has always been, and I was as well as probably always will be, a wheeling organization, mostly just to provide and facilitate events just for you to get out and enjoy what the sport that is.
And the website is tx4wd.org.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
TX, the number 4, WD.org.
And it pops up more as a forum than it is a informational website. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. There is a forum. We're all over Facebook as well. Instagram, you can find us on Instagram. I've got a great group of presidents that organize events, multiple styles of events throughout the year.
At least one of us has a great group of presidents. Sorry, wrong direction.
I broke. I have a Jeep. And these guys do a great job just organizing them, getting them out there, getting people to show up, showing them what the off-road life is really about, because a lot of people fall in love with the idea, but they don't, when it comes to actually off-roading it, they're like, they get a little nervous and a little scared. We offer 101 classes. We will teach you how to drive it. We will teach you what to look for. We will primer you with the equipment needed. You can't just, you can just go buy a Jeep or an off-roader and go out and explore, but we want you guys to be safe. We want you to be responsible. We try to do it as the old timers used to, and teach, educate, and constantly improve.
Sounds like a great bunch. Yeah, very nice. Well, Clint, it's great to talk to you. TX4, the number 4, WD.org. We appreciate you, sir. Thank you, and Happy New Year.
Excellent. Thank you, gentlemen.
Okay. Time now for the events calendar here on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Let's see what we can come up with. Conrad, who's been off for, a month?
About
a month, yeah. Well, he's back.
He's back.
He's back. And he's put together a calendar of events that are coming up. And the one that is near and dear to our hearts is right around the corner.
Next Saturday at Tailpipes and Tacos at Loopy Tortillas in Katy, off of Kingsland and the Grand Parkway.
99, the Grand Parkway.
Not Katy, the original Loopy 1. This is Katy at Kingsland and Grand Parkway.
Actually, Loopy 1 is not in Katy. It's in Houston.
Yeah.
But if you ask the Uber driver to take you to the one in Katy, he's going to take you to one.
Well, he is an
Or he
idiot.
has.
Yeah. Yeah. Or the one down on Echo Lane because it's on the Katy Freeway. Moron. Anyway,
So-
I regress.
Tonight at 7 p.m., Driver City, HPC, Fast Cars and Cigars at Casa de Monte Cristo.
Ah, that's your cup of tea.
Up there.
You're a big cigar guy, aren't you?
No, not really. I've smoked a couple of them, and I think I've puked.
That's
We talking about cigars?
Yeah.
6608 FM 1960 in Houston. It's free. It's just a free cruise in. Also tonight, and this starts at noon, is the Christmas Car Show and Cruise at 1255 North Main in Vidor, Texas, out there in
Yeehaw!
Vidor.
in Mars's
Mars.
territory.
That's when Mars goes out on a Saturday night. It goes over to Vidor.
And then there's a
Takes the
$10 there's a $10 charge, and that all goes to Christmas toys for charity. The Christmas Toy Drive and Car Show at 1923 Sam Houston Street in Liberty, Texas, and that's an open cruise-in. Ocean View Classics and Toy Drive at 636 North Bayshore Drive in LaPorte, and that starts this morning. Bring an unwrapped toy for donation. Also, tonight, starting at 5 p.m. Sorry, I lost my spot. Tonight, starting at 5 p.m. is the Brookshire Brothers Cruise in Montgomery, Texas.
The Brookshire Brothers Cruise In.
Yeah, Brookshire Brothers is
Brookshire Brothers is a grocery store.
correct.
Yeah, it's a clothing
I thought
store.
that a clothing store. It's an everything
it's a
store.
grocery store.
No, I've
It's a
shopped
grocery
at Brookshire
store.
Brothers. I have. Yeah. There's one in the airport.
Brookshire Brothers.
There's one in Jasper.
Yeah.
You know, you go to all the great places over there. Mm-hmm.
Still learning how to play the banjo.
Okay.
4:30 tonight at Wharton Cruise Night at Domino's Pizza there in Wharton. That's a free cruise in. Let's see. Tomorrow, Octane and Espresso at Black Rifle Coffee at 7086 Highway 6 North in Houston. And then also tomorrow, starting at 9 a.m., is the All-Team Bash at the Fort Bend County Fairgrounds.
All right.
At 4310.
The All-Teen Bash.
Team, T-E-A-M.
Oh, team.
Yeah,
Oh,
I don't know that I would want to go to an all-teen bash with a bunch of high-horsepower cars. That wouldn't end well.
It would not.
But it'd be on YouTube
Yeah, I was
somewhere.
gonna say, a lot of
Somewhere
YouTube.
immediately
A lot of
and
YouTube.
live.
Watch this
And then
knucklehead
also
crash.
tomorrow, starting at 8 a.m., is Trucks and Coffee end-of-year benefit meet at 901 Yorkchester Drive, Houston, Texas.
I wonder if I showed
Yay.
up in the Corvette that they'd let me in there, the truck.
It's a
meet.
free show. Go.
No, it's a truck thing.
And then Lake Houston Brewery Car Show
we're done.
at 10614 FM 1960 in Huffman, Texas. So Huffman is the other side of Lake Houston on 1960. I didn't know that there was a brewery out there, but I guess
Cross
so.
over the Death Bridge across the lake to get over there.
The Death Bridge. Why do
Yeah.
you call it the Death Bridge?
Oh, my God. They have some of the most horrendous wrecks on
that?
that bridge.
Because they fly. They break all
Well,
of them.
yeah, when it's not chocked up with, 1,000 cars trying to get across at one time.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that starts tomorrow at 11 a.m.
All right.
Is that it?
That's what I have.
Mars keeps fiddling with his microphone over there, and I don't know why.
He's getting ready to go on.
Is that what it
Yeah,
is?
we're gonna
No, wait a minute. He's combed his hair. He's got his makeup on. And ladies and gentlemen,
Dun, dun,
Jerry
dun.
Garcia.
Jerry Garcia with this hour's car review, the 2023 Ram 2500.
Can I get a drum roll? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah, this is the new 2023 Ram 2500 Rebel. It is so new. This is what I got for a Monroney.
Let me see that again. Ah, what kind of Monroney
It's
is
packed
that?
full of information.
Chocked full. Yeah.
Looks like a Houston Texans ticket. About as
It's about that size,
about as
too.
valuable.
Loser.
So, it is a full-size heavy-duty truck, crew cab, and it kind of positions in the lineup between the Laramie and the Power Wagon as far as the trim level and,
I
and
did
the
not
features
know.
that it gets.
Honest to God, I did not know that now they've transferred all of the different trim levels to the heavy duty side, because it used to be heavy duty
Work truck,
work
that was
truck.
it.
That's it.
Yeah, no, but they've become so popular as far as,
You mean the Rebel has?
well, the heavy duty. In the Ford F-250, I mean, across
That's
all
what
the
I see too,
OEMs
yep.
is the heavy
Yep.
duties, because of the towing capability and all that stuff from the guy that actually uses it. But the guys that jack them up, the 2500 series, the suspension's better for that than the 1500.
Well, they want
Well,
the
I think
comfort.
it's cheaper to high rise a 2500 than it is
Yeah,
a
and it holds up better.
150.
It
And
really
they want
does.
the comfort and all the luxury means in that as well.
Right. If you're going to spend that kind of
axle
money,
and all that stuff.
Yeah. So again, this particular vehicle is new for 2023. It's very much like a Power Wagon as far as the styling cues that go on it. So, but it's got different badging, special badging, a few other things. It's got the sport power hood. It's got LED lighting around it, including inside the bed, and where it's got the cargo tie downs. We had the trifold tonneau cover that was on it. That's an option. We had the optional Warn wrench that's capable of 12,000
You
pounds.
said the Warn winch.
Warn
Wrench.
Warren
Warren.
winch, not winch.
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 Okay.
That
Well,
thing.
that'll make the Lilienthal's happy.
Yeah, I used it. I actually got it's a demo and actually pulled myself up the side of a hill with that thing one time. I was pretty impressed.
She was strong.
Yes. We had the rain sensing wipers, and it has the 5-link coil rear suspension, and we had the optional airbags or air suspension. It was rolling on some 20-inch wheels, and it really makes a big difference in this thing. Now you get into the inside of it. Again, this is a Ram crew cab. It's got 3 different seating layouts in it. You can actually get a bench seat in the front of it. We had the front buckets with the rear fold-up type bench seat in it. Black leather interior all around. We had the 12-inch center stack that was in this thing, which I love that thing because you can do the split screen. There's just so much you can do with it. It'll definitely keep your eyes off the road. And we had the 360-degree surround view, so you could see all around it, which I could see in an off-road environment. That could be very useful. Had the fold flat rear cargo system, so that the seat folds up, folds out flat on the floor. 2 underfloor storage boxes, one on each side. And we had, of course, the Uconnect 5 audio entertainment system, and it was just, I don't know what you're going to do to get much better than that. And we also had the 12-inch digital gauge layout for the driver's area, and you could kind of reconfigure that to 2 or 3 different things. And we had the digital rearview mirror to see behind us and everything. So we were loaded. Up under the hood, we had the 6.4-liter Hemi. There is an optional 6.7 Cummins that you can get. We had 410 horsepower, 429 pound-feet of torque with the Hemi, 8-speed automatic transmission, tow rating of 16,870 pounds. That is a load. It'll haul 3,000 pounds. So, I mean, this thing is loaded up. Now, of course, it's 3/4 ton. They don't really do fuel mileage stuff for that.
What did you get?
And so what I got across the 210 miles was 14.5 miles per gallon average.
Sorry.
In town was a lot worse than that, or less, let me put it that way. But it's got plenty of power, and that's why it can haul and tow 16,000 pounds. As far as out on the road riding it, it's got the Bilstein shocks on it with the multi-link suspension and the air suspension, so it rides quite nice. A lot nicer than you might expect for a vehicle like this. If you're looking for something to compare it to, the Chevy 2500 series starts at about $44,000 for the work truck model. The Ford F-250, it starts at $45,000 plus, and the Ram 2500 base is actually $44,600. But you want to get into the Rebel, the base on it, 2500 Rebel series is $68,840, and the MSRP on ours as tested was $80,065. So obviously there was some additional options on this truck that weren't reflected on this
$12,000.
this Monroney.
So it is
but-
worth more than a Texans ticket.
Oh yeah,
$12,000 more than a Texans ticket.
But it really it was, again with Ram trucks, it just the thing they can do with the ride because of the suspension and stuff. It's really nice.
All right. Well, the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show is available 24/7 through the iHeartRadio app. Just look for the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show. We also stream on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com. Podcasts available at your fingertips from your favorite podcast source. In Wheel Time Car Talk Show continues right after this quick break.
Starting to work on your Christmas calendar? Be sure to add the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise-In Saturday, December 17th. You'll want to attend Tailpipes and Tacos Christmas Edition at the Loopy Tortilla in Katy, 8 to 11 a.m. It's the only place cruisers compete for Loopy's Chili Pepper trophies and other prizes. There's no charge to enter your vehicle for Best Hot Rod, Best Classic, or Best Modern Classic. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's coolest and most unique cruise-in and is your opportunity to see the best hot rods, show cars, classics, and resto mods. And get Loopy Tortilla breakfast tacos with adult beverages. There's no entry fee, and cars will automatically compete for those much sought-after custom Loopy trophies and other prizes. It happens at the Loopy Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10. It's the Tailpipes and Tacos Christmas Edition, Saturday, December 17th. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show will be there too. Celebrate the Christmas season with friends and family at Tailpipes and Tacos. Saturday morning, December 17th, 8 to 11. We'll see you then, weather permitting.
Welcome to the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Coming up, Richard Tomlin, PRI, and SCCA Endurance Race at MSR Houston. Later,
Boy, he sure does have a lot of initials.
Later, a look at the stories making headlines this week. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world, Mars, King Conrad DeLong. We need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us. Yes, he does. We have given him lots of room to expand all of his titles that he has.
SCCA, PRI, SEMA, head potentate at
BMF.
Apex.
Yeah, all of that. So, Richard, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning. We should put the title "Doing Fun Things with Cars."
Well, there's that. So we could throw that in there. I was told that we were going to talk to you on the road coming back from PRI, but clearly that is not the case.
Yeah, my audio coming through from you guys is a little bit rough this morning, but yeah, I had planned on being up this morning driving and catching a roadside visitation with you, but in coming in last night, the roadways cleared off about midnight, and I said, you know what, we're just going to go ahead and drive the rest of the way in. So when everybody else fell asleep, we made the long run in, and 14 and a half hours door to door, so not a bad day.
14 and a half hours.
Door to door.
Door to door. That's good.
From
PRI. Tell everybody what.
Was that Vegas?
No, Indianapolis.
Oh, okay.
So tell everybody what PRI is.
Tell you about what? One more time.
Tell everybody what PRI is.
Oh, PRI is the Performance Racing Industrial Show. It happens in Indy right after SEMA. So it is basically everything racing, from who's making heads, who's making crankshafts, to things like batteries. It's all there. It's all available. Unlike SEMA, where it's a lot more of a show-based, I say show like as in show car-based, PRI is actually what we use to build the cars, how we make them work, and how we make them pretty. Not as much on the decoration side of vehicles. It's actually the race side of vehicles.
I got you. How many square feet is that, Richard?
Too much. I did 22 miles day one of walking.
Holy cow.
So,
22
I go
miles.
there with a little different intent. I go there to see what I want to see, make my lap, and then I go back on the second day to see anything I missed the first day, because it's so busy. You may want to talk to somebody at a booth, but you can't get in and talk to anybody because of how crowded it is, and that's why we skip Saturday too. It's a very, very large show. I don't know the numbers compared to SEMA, but it's a completely different culture and feeling. And if you're into racing, drag racing, circle track, road race, any of that, and you're not at PRI, you need to be. SEMA is not where that show is at. PRI is where you want to be.
When I think of a racing show with parts, all I can think of is engines, transmissions,
connecting rods, pistons.
right? And maybe perhaps, do they have chassis there that you can buy?
A lot of that, but you've also got all your safety equipment that comes into play as well. You've got your seats, suspension's a big deal. And then each one of the individual disciplines kind of has their focus. So you've got your circle track, to your drag racing, to your road racing, to your jet boats. that they had some of those there this year. They had drag race sleds, completely aluminum drag race sled. It was pretty amazing. I'd never seen one of those before. So
A drag
neat to see it
race
up.
sled. That would be something that Conrad and I would do, a tandem sled.
Well, it's a snowmobile sled.
Yeah.
Built to have aluminum to race on asphalt. They basically put a drag slick around the belt instead of it being the belt for the snowmobile that you put in the snow to grab the snow. It's a Hoosier style slick that wraps around it. It's got like rollerblades on the front instead of skis, and they drag race these things, and the videos were absolutely astounding. So I'd seen videos before, but the videos they had there, I mean, picking the front skis up off the ground and just riding the rear track all the way down.
Wow.
With super glue on your butt to stay on.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, all I could think of those nitro bikes that they race in the quarter mile.
Well, they spray a stickum on their seat and on their behind so they stay attached.
I wouldn't know that. I'll just take your word for it. Let me take a look at that. Yeah, no, I'm good. Hey, do you have any butt glue? Because that's what it is.
They probably sell it at PRI.
Did you find any butt glue there, Richard?
Getting way too much echo and feedback.
Yeah.
I'm getting like every fifth word.
Every fifth word. Well, I'll tell you what, don't worry about it. And
Okay.
These two boys over here have got something going on, and I don't know what it is, but I don't.
What's interesting, Don, is yours was working a little bit back, and now yours is doing the same thing Conrad's is.
Yeah. Well, I can't answer that.
So were you at PRI as a buyer or as a seller?
If those guys can hear me, I will tell you that tomorrow we've got a CRE happening, which is basically a 5.5 hour endurance race at MSR. We will be having it's an opportunity for people to come out and actually see the SCCA, learn a little bit about what we do in a low pressure area. Basically any cage car, we can get you out on track, but this is a good spectator event. We'll have some of the open wheel cars there. Think junior F1 style. We'll also have some of the older spec racer Fords that'll actually be out there running as well. So this may have about 50 cars out there tomorrow. So swing by and see us at MSR Houston. Starts at 9 a.m.
Great invite. Thank you.
Yeah, it sounds good. I'm sorry for the technical problems, but can you hear us any better now? No, I guess not. I don't know what Mr. Mars is doing down there, but
we're just going to do a visit to Studio A is what we're going to have to do.
Yeah, I know. All right. Well, we're going to try to fix that. So, Richard, it's great talking to you. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
All right.
So, at any rate, that was Richard Tomlin, Apex Auto Works. Just got back PRI and endurance race coming up.
Yeah, apparently he drove all night because that was the original deal. He was going to be
that's
on
what
the
he
road.
said. They
14 hours.
put 14 hours in and got back.
Yeah,
The roads were clear.
I ran across this. I try to find this every week. I don't get it every week, but I thought that I would give you some of the cars that sold on Hemmings Marketplace.
All right.
Because it's fun, and I like to look at it. Dream on, brother. 1972 Chevrolet Corvette convertible.
Oh.
A roadster, as it were. I don't know why they call it a roadster, but it's a roadster in the Corvette language. 1972 Chevrolet Corvette, ugly green. I don't.
Chevrolet called it ugly green.
I think that's
That's
what
the
code
Don
is that?
Armstrong color.
The code what?
It sold for $32,551.
UGLY.
Here's one for Jeff, a 1990
Right.
Cadillac Fleetwood d'Elegance.
Oh, man.
$10,500. It looks good. It's got your name written on it. Why you didn't buy it, I don't know.
It's a whole zip code long.
Yeah.
Here's another one from 1956. It doesn't say exactly what model it is, but it's got the great big Hooters up front. 1956 Dagmars. 1956 Cadillac. Well, I like to call them Hooters. Sold for $18,900.
And that was that Elvis Pink?
Yeah, Elvis Pink. Did you see that car?
I just saw it over your shoulder, yeah.
Here's a 59 Chevy Suburban, $31,500. All fixed up.
That'd be a cool vehicle.
There's some pictures for you.
All right.
A couple of other ones that I highlighted because the Blazer is so hot. The old Blazer, the 78 Chevrolet K10. It's all loaded up, gussied up, white wall tires, the whole 9 yards. It sold for $9,250. The Audi S8 from 2003, $7,500.
That's a $100,000 car new.
I know it. Of course, it is 20 years old.
Yeah.
Let's not forget that. How about the 1965 Pontiac GTO? How much do you think something like that would sell for?
65 GTO, depending on condition,
35.
20 to 35.
$46,725
That's
is
probably
what it
in
sold
pretty good
for.
condition.
I'd guess. It looks pretty nice, but that doesn't mean anything. Ask our friend that does evaluations on cars, and he'll tell you.
Oh, Woody?
Some of them look okay, but they ain't okay
And
under
if
the
you know,
paint.
mine's except
There's
my
a 5-foot car and a 20-foot car.
Here's one that I would be interested in. A 2002 Jeep Wrangler. Looks like a pretty nice car. $12,600. Not bad. But you don't know what it's been through. You could get it. So if you go to Hemmings, you could look at these cars, cars like this, and find out pretty much based on the seller's description of the car of what it is. But that
I'm selling you a car. Believe everything I say.
Yeah. $12,600 for the Wrangler. 63 Ford Galaxy 500 convertible.
Nice.
With those ugly things on the back wheels, the side
Skirts.
fender skirts.
I like them.
$27,825.
And 63, wasn't that still the year with the jet exhaust taillights?
There it is.
Yeah.
The 2003 BMW Z4. Stan Holt had one of these. That was an expensive two-seat sports car. The 2003 BMW Z4. This one sold for $13,360.
You sure it was Stan's and not Sheila's?
That was $100,000.
Probably Sheila's.
No, it's not. Well, not at
was
the time.
Sheila's,
It wasn't. No, this is long before that.
Okay.
86 Ford F-150. 86 Ford F-150.
$11,000.
It looks like, Farmer Don's truck with a camper on the back. $5,800.
It's amazing
I
how
overbought
much value pickup trucks retain.
Well, that's not much. $5,800. Of course, it probably has 300,000 miles.
Probably knew it was a $6,000 truck.
Well, there you go.
Uh,
And it
Hell,
looks
there's value.
like one of those, is beige and dark brown.
Oh,
Two-tone.
yeah. Those are hot colors. Now.
Oh, yeah.
You
Boy,
got
that's got my name written all over it. Not. But at any rate, just to let you know that, one of the things that I truly enjoy doing is going to Mecum Auction when it comes to NRG. Walk around, look at the cars. You walk right up to them, look inside them. But you can also get down on your hands and knees and look up underneath.
And pray that you'll buy it.
But some of those, pristine underneath. Other ones are rust buckets under there.
Well,
they look good on the outside, but ooh.
Mecum was just last weekend, and they were at, I think, somewhere in the Midwest. I think they were at Indy.
I was going to say
Yeah,
Indy.
yeah.
I think that they did that in conjunction with PRI.
Yeah. But I watched a little bit of it, and there was some bargains early on, but that's normally the case. Early on in the auctions, they do the more affordable rather than the exotics and the customs later on in the weekend.
I don't think it was Indy that I watched. It was a couple of shows ago that I watched, probably an hour and a half. And, man, the prices were just all over the place.
Yeah, they were.
All
No
over the
consistency.
place.
Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
last summer, muscle car prices were sky high. They seemed to calm down.
Well, you were getting out of COVID too, and everybody was anxious to spend a little bit of money. COVID money, yeah, and get their hot rod back in shape or sell it to get something else. That's my opinion.
Did you just shake your finger?
I shook my finger.
And everybody who asked for his opinion.
Yep. All of y'all. There you go.
Hey, by the way, we'd love to hear from you. Just shoot us an email. The address here is info@inwheeltime.com.
Yep. We lost Mike.
Well, Bobby Sparkman was he's on Facebook, and he said that he'd be happy to announce the next Hot Rod Tour of Texas when it's all settled on the show.
Yeah.
Oh, very good.
Well, I reached out to him earlier. I guess it was this week, maybe last week. Don't recall, but reached out to him and said, hey, man, I've got my new calendar on my desk for 2023. I'm ready to pencil in some stuff, and I want to put the Hot Rod Tour of Texas on that. I had such a good time last year. Did that by myself from Victoria all the way up to just south of Fort Worth. Such a great time. Met all these wonderful people, all different kinds of cars and trucks.
And people.
And that's really what it was all about. Just a great time. And it was a bunch of cars. And we went up through and skirted part of the hill country, headed up north. And what a great time. Stopped by the Spetzel Brewery, Shiner Beer, and I had a tour of that, and that was tons of fun. I'm not sure exactly what Mars is fiddling with over here, but
He's
it's
trying to fix the sound output.
It worries me. I will tell you that. But at any rate, when he's fiddling with wires, we all
He's just plugging them in and unplugging
we all
them.
need to be worried.
Well, he's always got extra
And,
wires.
and the other thing is he's got that smile, that smirk on his face as he does it. Okay, Mars, I've got your microphone on. Now you can
I was
defend
listening
yourself.
to you talking, and best I can tell, the Hot Rod Tour of Texas will be the last weekend of April.
Yes, well,
He hasn't officially announced it.
No. They haven't announced anything, so it'll.
Well, I know, but I saw a comment that he made. Somebody asked him, and he said probably be that weekend, but it's not.
Well, let's when we have Mr. Sparkman on, let's let him do the announcement.
Well, as soon as he's ready.
And by the way, as a programming note, wanted to let everybody know that next weekend we are going to be at Tailpipes and Tacos.
Yes, we are.
At the Lupe Tortilla Tex-Mex out on 99, the Grand Parkway, and Kingsland Boulevard. And that show coincides with our hours, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. And there will be adult beverage, breakfast, beverages
Which
there.
he's already partaking in.
I'm trying to. Through an IV.
Yeah. Well, you've got the breakfast tacos, and then you've got mimosas and
Coffee and Bloody
coffee,
Marys.
Bloody Marys. And the proceeds go to Shirley's Kids, which is her foundation.
Shirley Muldowney.
Shirley Muldowney. Yep.
Yeah.
So all the proceeds go to her.
Mr. Sparkman just did say on Facebook, well, let's go ahead and spill some beans.
Thank you,
It
Mike.
will be the last weekend of April 2023, so mark your calendars, and the route will be released live on the show with you guys.
Mike, where is the route? Tell us where the route is, Mike.
In Texas.
Yeah, it's in Texas.
Starts in Texas.
I'm not going to
drives
tell you what
around
the whole route
Texas
is. I'm going to
and
let him
ends in
do it.
Texas.
I don't want to steal too much of his thunder.
There you
No,
go.
no. And I'm just going to say this and speculate a little bit, but not really give anything away.
Speculate. You need a napkin?
No. Thank you.
that's
it won't.
expectorate.
It will not be the same route that we took last year.
No. Well, he said that at the end of last year, that it's going to be different.
I just wanted to go ahead and reiterate that. So I'm looking forward to putting that on the calendar.
They're starting at right out front here, Studio A.
No, they're not. Oh my God!
Yeah, put 300 people out here on 300 cars out on the
I can see
driveway.
400
Don's
cars.
neighbors
Yeah,
loving that.
No, that wouldn't go over well. But anyway, I'm looking forward to that, and it's a great time of the year to go on a tour like this. It's not too hot yet, and it's just a ton of fun. So
In April, you'll get some fall flowers or some spring flowers.
April showers.
yeah, and some April showers too. We ran
They
into
bring
that.
May flowers,
Thank you, Jeff.
which the Pilgrims came over
On the
on
Mayflower.
Mayflowers. Yeah. Just throw that in there.
You know, we always try to hit on every level here on the N-Will Time Car
Very
Talk Show.
educational.
Many of them wondering why.
Yeah.
Jeff's mind is at work.
And we will not have, unfortunately, the usual screw-up for the NHRA drag race this year because there will not be one. And we are going to have Seth Angel on in the coming weeks and to talk about the end of the racetrack out in Baytown.
He did post a little bit of information on that this past week. Yeah. And I read that.
So it won't go too far into the year of 2023.
And if people want to see that, come to our Facebook
I think it's
page.
March, isn't it? March or April?
April
Here
1st.
we go. Mike's
April
got
1st.
it down.
I think they said April 1st was the last event they have scheduled.
Yeah, so that's kind of sad. All
Yeah.
right. Shall we do some news stories?
Sure.
Okay. I have some, as I always do, or at least I try to. U.S. inventory of automobiles grew by another 150,000 vehicles last month to reach 1.61 million, giving dealers their best supply of new vehicles all year going into the last few weeks of 2022. Levels are up 78% from where they were a year earlier, according to Cox Automotive, but still are down substantially compared to where they were at the same point in 2019-2020. Well,
Which makes sense because now you're starting to see some incentive money come back into play.
Yep. Cox noted that high-performance cars, compact cars, and minivans were the segments with the tightest supplies. Minivans with the tightest supplies. Go figure that. At any rate. Notably, electric vehicles had nearly a 50-day supply, Cox said, just under the national average for all segments. All 7 of the automakers that continue to report monthly sales and inventory data recorded increases in their day's supply, with Ford Motor Company crossing over the 2-month threshold for the first time since January of 2021, according to the Automotive News Research and Data Center. Subaru was the only brand among those reporting whose days supply remained in single digits, while Volvo and American Honda joined Ford in having at least 30 days supply.
Wow.
So what that means is that if you're in the market for a car, new car in particular,
right,
that there is inventory that is back on most dealers' lots, that depending on what model.
I have been seeing transport trucks full.
Yep.
Well, and that also means that probably used car trade-in values are going to decline.
Right.
Continue
Yeah,
to
they started,
decline.
yep.
And yes, I do have my Carvana story, and I will be giving that to you here momentarily.
With a knife. I mean,
dude, I don't.
They're never ending.
If you buy a car from Carvana, you'll be sorry. Just saying.
Okay.
Some of the recalls this week: Toyota Tundra for 2023, incorrect load carrying capacity label.
Uh-oh.
We'll send you one in the mail. It won't be anything about load carrying, but it may be something about the size of your shoes. Location may be unavailable for emergency response in BMW's 740i, 760i, and i7 for 2023. So your car's being recalled for that. Control module shutdown can reduce...
And they want to know where it is.
Yeah. Control module shutdown can reduce engine power on the Audi A6, A6 Allroad, A7, RS6, RS7, S6, S7, 2019 through 2022 model years. Chrysler, communication loss may cause an engine shutdown in the Jeep Wrangler for 2021 through 2023. That's being recalled.
Wow.
Honda's rear view camera may fail on the Ridgeline 2017 through 2019. Corroded harness connector may start a fire on the Nissan Rogue for 2017.
A thermal event.
A thermal event. Side curtain airbags can deploy improperly on the Kia Sportage for 2023.
That'll scare the critters out of you.
That'll definitely do it.
Wow.
So those are the recalls. Used EVs. You don't think about that, do you? I don't, because I don't really care. But you don't really think about that. This year, in an industry first, late model used electric vehicles held their value better than the market as a whole, according to Black Book, although only briefly. Alex Yurchenko, good Irishman, chief data science officer for Black Book, speculated higher gasoline prices made a difference. However, there's been a very steep drop in the percent of sticker price held by 2 to 4 year old EVs. goes hand in hand with used cars. Just another used car. Black Book indicates this started in July, about a month after a slightly milder plunge in retention began among all vehicles. By October, late model EVs had fallen below the market in the percentage of value held.
I wonder when somebody, I'm assuming it'll be Consumer Reports, will come out with an analysis of battery life of an EV by brand. You know, Tesla batteries generally last X, GM batteries generally last Y. You know,
I've heard about 5 years is the most that you can get, but that's somebody guessing that told me.
Well, I think they've been out long enough that there should be enough data that somebody could put a report together. Not me, but I think that's kind of sounds like something. Maybe we'll ask CR next time we have him on the show if that's a test that they're going to run or analysis that they can share.
Yeah, and who would collect data like that? Who would collect that data?
Well, the
manufacturer,
manufacturers. I imagine the manufacturers.
But are they going to report it?
Well, the data probably comes in through their warranty system. And no, they probably won't report that.
And I've said this before, last week I believe it was, that you have these advertisements where the vehicle will get 300 miles range. That's great. What is it going to take to charge that vehicle up to get an additional 300? Like you use the 300-mile range. How long does it take to get another 300-mile range in it?
You could walk 300 miles.
Well, I'm just saying that they're not posting that. There's nothing in all of the fine print of these commercials and these advertisements that you need to charge it up for 48 hours to get that, or 2 days.
True.
So there's nothing written or discussed or.
Well, that all varies. That all varies on what type of charger you're running.
Well, that's true, but why isn't that stated?
And then when you're using the fast chargers and you're cycling the battery that much deeper, harder, hotter, does that dissolve the life cycle of the battery?
Is that posted?
No. From what I hear and read, that it decreases the longevity.
Well, it's like
of
your
the
phone
battery.
or anything else that you charge up. They say you don't charge it up continually. Let it go down and come back up. But there's nothing stated that we've got 300-mile range. Great. It takes 3 days to charge it back up, but you got 300-mile range. That's my beef.
So you can only go 300
shaking my
miles
finger
every
again.
3 days.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, whatever it is, I don't know the number, but why isn't it stated?
Well, and then you've got a lot of manufacturers jumping into various motorsports with their hybrid, electric hybrid-powered prototype race cars. They just ran this past weekend the IMSA crowd at Daytona trying to look at what the performance is going to be of the new electric hybrids that they were having. There were 9 cars representing 4 manufacturers: Acura, who's the returning champion, BMW, Cadillac, Porsche. They were all on the track over the last couple of days. Lamborghini is going to follow them in 2024 with the potential for even more manufacturers coming to IMSA on their prototype program. Now, these cars are going to be Le Mans type prototypes. The cars in IMSA, the DPI cars that they've run for so many years, did not qualify for the 24 Hours of Le Mans just because the car wasn't certified for
You're
Le
talking about
Mans.
the Daytona prototypes.
Right. So now the new DPI or now the new GTP cars will qualify for Daytona.
All right, time now for a quick break. We're going to be right back. You're on the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show on iHeartRadio.
Starting to work on your Christmas calendar? Be sure to add the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise-In Saturday, December 17th. You'll want to attend Tailpipes and Tacos Christmas Edition at the Loopy Tortilla in Katy, 8 to 11 a.m. It's the only place cruisers compete for Loopy's Chili Pepper trophies and other prizes. There's no charge to enter your vehicle for Best Hot Rod, Best Classic, or Best Modern Classic. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's coolest and most unique cruise-in and is your opportunity to see the best hot rods, show cars, classics, and resto mods. And get Loopy Tortilla breakfast tacos with adult beverages. There's no entry fee and cars will automatically compete for those much sought-after custom Loopy trophies and other prizes. It happens at the Loopy Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10. It's the Tailpipes and Tacos Christmas Edition, Saturday, December 17th. The In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show will be there too. Celebrate the Christmas season with friends and family at Tailpipes and Tacos. Saturday morning, December 17th, 8 to 11. We'll see you then, weather permitting. Want to take a minute to tell you about Gulf Coast Auto Shield, a Houston detail company like no other. Gulf Coast Auto Shield offers paint correction services that'll give your car, truck, or SUV a like-new shine. Afterwards, you'll want to protect it with a professionally installed nano-ceramic coating or protection film. Worried about your very expensive windshield getting damaged, broken, or cracked? Let Gulf Coast Auto Shield install ExoShield, a windshield protection film. Give John Gray a call today or check out their website, gcautoshield.com. Hey, whether you own a new, ultra-expensive, exotic, or a 5-year-old Suburban, Gulf Coast Auto Shield will help keep your investment looking like the day it rolled off the assembly line. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is conveniently located on the South Sam Houston Parkway, just south of I-69, the Southwest Freeway. Meet the staff and check out all of their services online right now at gcautoshield.com.
Howdy. Live from Studio A in Houston, Texas, it's the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show just ahead, and a chance to drive the 2022 Ram 700 horsepower TRX. I'll give you my thoughts on it. We'll also have the cruise-in calendar, and later, His Majesty Jack Nerad out there on the left coast.
All right.
Our auto friend who has ventured now into something completely different, a paperback called Dance in the Dark. Plus, we'll have This Week in Auto History. It's just ahead. And the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Howdy, along with Mike Out of This World Mars, King Conrad DeLong. We need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us today. And right now, we're going to venture across the Atlantic Ocean to talk to a fellow by the name of Sean Lucas. Sean, good morning from the USA and good afternoon, evening over there in the UK.
Good afternoon, everybody. The audio is pretty bad. I can barely hear you, but I'll do my best.
All right. Well, we're sorry for that. And I know that Mr. Mars is diligently working on that. But I did want to bring to everybody's attention that Sean has written a book called Driveway Detailing Warrior, the ultimate cost-saving book for getting the va-va-voom back in your car. I don't know what you did there, Mr. Mars, but it really is jacked up on my headset. Mm-hmm. I don't know why it's in my headset, what you're doing over there, but
I don't know either.
That may be a clue as to what your problem is over there. There was an interesting thing here that you had written. Perils of a sloppy ride. Did you know that a dirty, dingy car can be a disaster for your love life?
Oh, my.
A recent poll by a detailing products company revealed that over half, 51% of those polled, would end a first date early if their date showed up in a dirty car. I thought that was pretty spot on, because I'll tell you what, if I got into somebody's car, I go, holy cow, I don't want to see what the inside of your house looks like. And I'm sure that you have found that out as well.
I'm not sure he can hear us.
Sorry, guys, I can't
hear us.
Okay, well, then
Tell us about your book.
Well, I don't know if he can hear you say that. Can you tell us about your book? He cannot. He cannot hear us.
Go back to full screen.
All right, so I will tell you. It is a book called Driveway Detailing Warrior. And it's a do-it-yourself money-saving guide to sports car detailing at home on a budget by that man that we just had on there. And there are different chapters, clearly. Sublime, Safe Wash, and the Love Connection, which I kind of hinted at with that little bit of information that we shared. Stunning stone chip repair, desirable do-it-yourself detailing products and tools, wicked wheels off, wheel arch detail and protection, wonderful wheels off alloys, brake calipers, and exhaust tip detailing and ceramic coating. Now we're getting deep into it.
Well, my car's filthy, but we're not dating, so.
No, your car's not filthy.
My car's filthy.
It's not filthy on the inside.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Well, you guys aren't dating anymore.
Yeah.
Why is it filthy
I haven't
on the
had it
inside?
washed in like 10 days. So.
But that has nothing to do with the inside.
Yeah, it's kind of grody.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Mine is not. Mine's sitting underneath the tarp out there in the driveway. And if you took
And
the
the
tarp,
squirrels are filling it with nuts.
no, they're not, because
Possums.
I've taken care of that. I've got my mothballs underneath the hood now.
Good.
They stay away from that. Ultimate undercarriage detail and protection. You know, this is clearly a concours d'elegance kind of book. So if you want to detail your car to the nth degree, do you really need a book to tell you about that?
No, but
if
it
you're
helps.
if you're just getting into it, then yes. And so this might be something for you to delve into at some point, because I have a feeling that from what I saw, Driveway Detailing Warrior is a pretty good book. You know, it's funny because when I started in the show car segment with my 77 Corvette, I had absolutely no clue what I was doing whatsoever. I didn't know.
3 years later, he still didn't.
3 years later, 30 years later, I still don't know. No, but I had no one to tell me, and I didn't know that there were books available, and I don't know as if there really were at the time.
Toothbrush and Q-tips.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yep. And once
Toothpicks to kind of get into the deep little crevices.
once I got into it, then I met Bill and Sharon Seitz, and they pointed out those little tricks of the trade. But and once I got into it, oh my gosh, my good friend Buddy Cantu, we got in the garage, and it was time to clean the undercarriage of the Corvette
that you never drove.
with Varsol.
With Varsol.
Varsol.
Well, there's a name from the past.
Exactly. And let me tell you something. Varsol on bare skin over a couple of hours of scraping all the yuck off the bottom of the car will turn your arms
And some
red.
of that yuck Chevrolet put on there for corrosion protection.
That was factory yuck.
And yeah.
I don't know about that. What I wound up scraping off of there was oil deposits that from a leaking rear main seal that I found out.
It's a small block Chevy. They're all supposed to leak.
No, they're not. That's like the guy at the helicopter
they all
place.
do leak.
Hey, man, I said there's oil streaming down the side of the helicopter. They all do that. No, I'm not getting into it like that.
Well, that's why they hold 12 quarts so you can leak 6.
There you go.
No, they're not supposed to do that. But at any rate, back to the cars.
Not at 1,000 feet, at least.
Back to the cars. I will tell you that I wish that I'd had a book to read of how to do it and what was expected when you took your car to a car show.
Well, George Skelton is asking, how did the Varsol work with your Brute aftershave?
It was quite an odorous garage.
Were you a Brute or an Old Spice guy?
Neither one.
Or Canoe?
No, Canoe.
Canoe.
Yeah, no, I'd do the Canoe before I did Brute or Old Spice. Old Spice, Dick Gottlieb used to wear Old Spice.
There's a joke in there somewhere.
No. Very nice guy, an Aggie. He loved his Old Spice. Then he bathed in it before he came to the radio station to record commercials.
Nice.
DeMontron commercials. I think he had the DeMontron account, and he was the
voice of.
The voice.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. At any rate, so I'm sorry that we couldn't get through to Sean Lucas. I know that Mr. Mars is working diligently in trying to fix it. And what scares
got
me
nowhere yet.
What scares me is that I could hear what he's doing on that box over there.
Yeah.
How is that
I
possible?
can hear that too. I heard it too.
Yeah, well, that needs to go away. And I guess you can just dump all of our other guests that we had lined up today. At any rate, never fails. It never fails. There is no racing. Actually, there is racing.
There's a little bit of racing.
Matter of fact, our friend Rodney Rodriguez and Gina Child Knowles apparently went to a thing called the Snowball Derby.
I saw the postings of that. Yeah, very cool.
And that looked like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And it was not at Mobile International Speedway, from what I understand.
That's right.
It was from something else. So I don't know. It's
an annual event.
It is an annual event.
For the holidays, the Christmas, the
We're
snowball
2 weeks
queen.
away from Christmas
Right.
weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Next weekend is Tailpipes and Tacos, which will,
Also our birthday weekend.
Yep, that's right. Week after.
your birthday weekend. I don't have birthdays.
For those that don't know,
But the anniversary of your birth was the same anniversary of mine, just 10 years or so earlier.
yours was 10 years earlier.
No, Don's was.
You know, I don't have birthdays, so I don't even know what you're talking about.
Well, you talk about racing calendar.
No, you changed the subject.
NHRA starts March 9th at the Gator Nationals in Gainesville, Florida. March 24th through the 26th are the Arizona Nationals out in Wild Horse Park, Wild Horse Pass Motorsports Park. March 30th through April 2nd are the Winter Nationals, which usually started the year, and now they're going to be the third race of the year, and that's going to be out at Pomona. NASCAR starts the 16th of February with Daytona Speedway Duel number 1. Duel number 2 is that night, same on the 16th. And then March 26th, NASCAR is coming back to the Eco Park Automotive Grand Prix and Float Show. Remember last year it rained so hard they really just had to stop the race because they couldn't really race in the rain. And NASCAR typically doesn't race in the rain for a reason, and we understood that when they were at COTA last year because the rain was so hard.
That was really stupid. That was really stupid. The rain, any race they would have stopped like that. It was so hard and intense. You couldn't see 5 feet in front of you.
And their windshield wipers aren't effective, and
No.
the water intrusion to the car isn't effective.
No.
That was the dumbest thing. And NASCAR wonders why people don't watch anymore.
Yep.
But they're coming back to COTA, and that's going to be March 26th. Formula One starts up again in March.
Can't wait.
IMSA, the 24 hours of the Rolex 24. Testing starts January 20th through the 22nd. First race on the calendar is the Dakar Rally, and that starts on the 15th of January.
Very good.
Can I rag on Carvana now?
Yeah.
Please do.
Help yourself.
It wouldn't be a show without it.
I know. Well, there's more news out of Carvana this week.
Who's
This is from
screw
Automotive
now?
News. Some of Carvana Company's largest creditors, including Apollo Global Management Incorporated and Pacific Investment Management Company, have signed a pact binding them to act together in negotiations with the struggling used car retailer, a move meant to prevent the kind of nasty creditor fights that have complicated other debt restructurings in recent years. A group of funds holding around $4 billion of Carvana's unsecured debt, God, or around 70% of the total outstanding, have signed the cooperation agreement, which will last a minimum of 3 months, according to people with knowledge of the matter, who asked not to be named because they were not authorized to speak publicly.
But they're not going to get it cleaned up in 3 months.
Of course not. The agreement aims to prevent the kind of splintering among lenders that troubled companies such as Envision Healthcare Corporation have used in recent years to secure more favorable terms in complex debt deals. Such infighting is partly an outcome of an era of easy money that's weakened lender protections and left creditors with few options but to turn against each other for a better spot in the repayment line.
Carvana thinks there's strength in numbers. That's why they formed that.
So what's going to happen to all of these consumers who have financed through Carvana in their basically Total Note program as all of these vendors back out and some of them highly likely to fail?
2 more sentences. Companies' bonds have been languishing below 50 cents on the dollar, indicating
See?
that investors believe the company is at a high probability of default.
No.
Carvana's credit outlook has deteriorated due to declining prices for used cars, rising interest rates, and a heavy debt load. The company has cut thousands of jobs this year in an effort to slash costs and slow its cash bleed, yet they keep spending $1 bajillion on advertising.
Yep.
For poor suckers that go and say, I'm going to buy my car from a vending machine. Okay. Let's see how that works out for you.
And they're going to deliver it on a tow truck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roll back. So a car you've never seen before.
Shows up in your driveway.
That Carvana probably didn't actually have on their Carvana lot somewhere. No, it was probably from a dealer.
Storage lot somewhere.
A dealer who got involved in Carvana to get them used car inventory. And then it gets on the Carvana website. Oh, I like that Dodge Dakota on there. And so I'm going to buy that car. Well, that comes from a trade-in that's 2 owners deep at the Dodge dealer down the street that's got 100,000 miles on
And
it.
none of the 3 previous owners have paid the transfer title fee.
And if you don't use their financing, you're not going to get it delivered. You got to go pick it up.
Is that what it is?
So I read that when we did the reviews.
You know, if you're going to buy a car, please do your homework. Is the person or company that you're buying the car from legitimate? Or do they have complaints against them? What are the problems that they're currently having?
And are they reoccurring? Is there a theme in those problems?
Yes, and we've read in other prior stories that we've done on here that what appears to be Carvana hanging on to the titles or giving you the title without it actually getting transferred to your name, and them paying you, ultimately paying the state tax to get your license plate.
TT&L.
Oh, my God. What an absolute nightmare. And now the states have gone after them, Carvana.
Right.
Yeah, because it's costing the state money. The state could care less if it's costing consumers money.
Well, you would think the state
but when
wants
it
their money
costs the
first.
state money, right.
Yeah.
The state gets your money first. They're not going to fool around with you.
It is a big mess that I would seriously consider.
And we have some
avoiding.
pretty good used car operators on the show. Big Mac Auto Sales up there on
Emmons
290.
Brothers.
Emmons Brothers down in Friendswood. Great operation, boy. And you talk about somebody with some inventory. Holy cow!
Yeah,
they've got some killer inventory.
And they do it right. They've been in business for a long time. They stand behind.
And they
what
do
sell.
internet sales as well, so you can go on look at their inventory.
There's so many different outlets to buy a used car. I remember when I was working for Chevrolet, the Richardson brothers down at Hillcroft in 59, that used car lot, what a dump. And they never actually promoted their used car inventory at all, but yet they sold cars out of that inventory.
Oh, yeah.
And they were all trades.
Well, here since COVID, pretty much used cars have been the cash cow for a lot of new car dealers. So, and that's why used car prices went up when new car inventory went down, because they weren't taking trades to trade in the used car to sell to buy the new car.
Well, so many of the good used cars came off lease when their lease was up.
Or in to a large degree, lease as well as a rental car inventory.
Yeah.
When they were, double and triple cycling rent cars out at National and Hertz and all of that generated a lot of used cars at relatively low miles.
And now Hertz, when you rent a car, good luck, because you may be getting pulled over for theft. There's that big story.
Oh, my gosh. Did you see that story?
Oh, yeah. People, quite a few of them.
Oh, my.
Get out of the car.
Get out of the car.
Get out of the car.
And then they have, 5 other cop cars show up because they think that the car's
bazookas
stolen.
and hand grenades and all that.
Yeah.
You bet.
It wasn't me. I didn't do it.
I just rented it.
I just rented it. It's a stolen car.
Yeah. Thank you, Hertz.
Geniuses.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What an absolute nightmare. So be careful of what you get yourself into. Just by being an innocent buyer of a used car.
I've been innocent all my life. Yeah.
Huh. Yeah. Well, let's talk about that.
We're not real sure we believe that, Jeff, but it's your story, and you're
I'm
sticking
to it.
All right.
There's a country song in there
I
somewhere.
think so.
If you'd like to get in touch with us, not that you'd want to, but if you'd like to, you can shoot us an email. The address is info@inwheeltime.com.
And if you know how to fix our sound problem on Zoom, get a hold of info@inwheeltime.com.
And subscribe. You have to subscribe.
Yeah, Mars can use all the help
I don't know
he
what
can get.
Mars is
We're
doing
gonna
over there.
subscribe.
He's in
He's
another
talking
world.
with-
Hopefully he's
Ainsley.
ordering lunch. I'm not sure.
Anyway, time now for this hour's cruise in calendar, and number one off the block is
Tailpipes and Tacos next Saturday at Lupi Tortillas off of Kingsland and Grand Parkway in Katy.
yes,
And
Beautiful.
that's the big event
We'll be there, right?
yep.
Okay.
with bells on. Today, also in Katy, is the Christmas in Katy car show. That's at Bryant Elementary, and that starts at 12 noon and goes on to 4 p.m. Let's see what else is going on. That's most of it. We talked about them earlier.
Talk about Formula One.
No, you don't want to talk about Formula One.
All right, so time now for this hour's car review. I had a chance to drive the 2022 Ram 1500. Available trim levels are the Tradesman, the Lone Star, the Rebel, the Laramie, the Longhorn, and the TRX,
The Hot Rod.
which is what I had. The TRX Crew Cab 4x4. This is a standard pickup truck. Well, really, I don't know about standard in size maybe, but that's about it because there's nothing standard about this. It is a half-ton or 1500 style pickup truck. Has 4 passengers and a driver. Exterior changes from last model year. This model was all new in 2021. This is a bad-to-the-bone hot rod with a Hellcat engine in it. Now, if you're not familiar with a Hellcat engine, I'm going to tell you about that in just a second. Exterior features, functional hood scoop. Body panels on it are 8 inches wider than the regular Ram. This is a beast. 35-inch tires with 18-inch beadlock wheels, which are optional. Optional full-length rock rails, 5-inch dual exhaust tips. What I liked is 32 inches of water fording.
Nice.
And in Houston, Texas, we need that, especially in the spring. 13 inches of suspension travel. This is
In Houston, you need that, especially in the spring when they're doing all the road construction.
and potholes. 13 inches of suspension travel. Friends, that is a off-road vehicle by any stretch of the imagination. Interior highlights, 12-inch touchscreen. It absolutely kills it. The best in the business. One of the most detailed, luxurious interiors available. Some of it optional on the TRX. I'll tell you about more of that in just a second. More options on the top of the trim levels. TRX has its own detail, making it extremely distinctive as a TRX. Cargo and trunk room. If it won't fit in the truck bed, use the rear underseat storage because there's tons of it under there. They've designed this thing that you can pretty much move your entire house in the back seat of the car.
I was going to say, and anything you put in the bed of the truck, if you're out banging on it, it's just going to come flopping out of the truck anyhow.
Yeah. Well, this happened to have a trifold tonneau cover on it. What I liked about it, everything. What could use improvement? Nothing. Don't touch it. 6.2 liter supercharged V8, turning out 702 horsepower and 650 pound-feet of torque.
Was that enough?
Through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Tow rating is 4 tons, 8,100 pounds. Haul rating,
That's a big toe.
Yeah.
it is a big tow.
Not a pinky.
No. And it has nothing to do with a camel either. Haul rating is 1,310 pounds. What I liked about it, well, I didn't like the gas mileage on it, but, you want horsepower.
You don't buy something like that for fuel economy.
Right. So in the city, it's rated at 10. On the highway, 14 for a combined of 12. I got 13.1. I only floored it one time. And that was over 176.5 miles. And I'm being honest. I
An
only
hour?
flew it one time. Pardon me?
176 miles per hour?
I traveled over 176.5 miles. You weren't paying attention. So I start calling you Mike Mars too? Ride and handling. With all the suspension travel, you can imagine the thing rides wonderfully. What could use improvement? A small step stool to get into it.
Yeah, quite large to get in.
With 36-inch tires on it, you gotta be a long-legged
and
or
all
a
that
step
travel
stool.
and the suspension.
Yeah, it's awesome. It is an awesome truck. I will tell you that. And yes, it beats the snot out of the Ford Raptor.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
And you just had that recently too.
I had the Bronco Raptor.
Bronco Raptor. That's what it was.
And hey, that's a great vehicle. Not to knock it at all, but I'm telling you, you want some horsepower, you want some fun in your truck. Well, this will do it. It had options on it. I've got a time here to read some of the options on it. It had the trailer tow group for $295. These are extras now.
Like you're going to tow a big trailer with that truck.
Bed utility group was
Quickly.
$945. The TRX carbon fiber package, which included several things, $1,295. The TRX Level 2 equipment group, leather trim bucket seats, ventilated front seats, wrapped driver and passenger assist handles. It just goes on and on and on. That was a $10,000 bump up. It also had the trifold tonneau cover in the back, and the price on that was $695.
That's actually a pretty good price.
Yeah, they're about that.
Considering
anyways.
what you're going to pay for it to get it put in as an
Aftermarket.
aftermarket.
Yep.
Yeah.
Black powerful trailer tow mirrors, $445. TRX exterior graphics by Mopar, got to have that, $495. TRX hood graphics by Mopar, $895. Trailer reverse steering control, that's pretty cool. That's only $500. But I will tell you some of the graphics. I'm one of those very clean, naked kind of paint job guys.
Sleeper looking.
I don't want any of the fancy stuff on it, so you can save yourself several $1,000s without all the stickers on it. But that's just me personally. Okay, so pricing. The base trim price is $80,585
For a base TRX.
for the base TRX. For the prices tested, it was $98,780. Okay, $100,000 truck. Base model price. You want to get into a Ram pickup truck?
$56.
$39,200. But then no comparison. Okay, as far as comparison is concerned, the only thing that I could come up with was the Ford F-150 Raptor, and it starts at $65,840 with the twin-turbo V6 in it. This had 700 horsepower. The twin-turbo V6, what has it got, 400? Something like that. Chevy GMC do not offer a hypo off-road racer. Neither does Toyota or Nissan in their half-ton pickup trucks. So, if you want a hot rod, ladies and gentlemen, plop down $100,000. Go get yourself a Ram TRX. All right.
Cool.
Hey, a reminder that the In Wheel Time Car Show streams on the iHeartRadio app and Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com. 30-minute podcasts are available from your favorite podcast provider. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show continues right after this quick break.
Starting to work on your Christmas calendar? Be sure to add the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise-In Saturday, December 17th. You'll want to attend Tailpipes and Tacos Christmas Edition at the Loopy Tortilla in Katy, 8 to 11 a.m. It's the only place cruisers compete for Loopy's Chili Pepper trophies and other prizes. There's no charge to enter your vehicle for Best Hot Rod, Best Classic, or Best Modern Classic. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's coolest and most unique cruise-in and is your opportunity to see the best hot rods, show cars, classics, and resto mods. And get Loopy Tortilla breakfast tacos with adult beverages. There's no entry fee, and cars will automatically compete for those much sought-after custom Loopy trophies and other prizes. It happens at the Loopy Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10. It's the Tailpipes and Tacos Christmas Edition, Saturday, December 17th. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show will be there too. Celebrate the Christmas season with friends and family at Tailpipes and Tacos. Saturday morning, December 17th, 8 to 11. We'll see you then, weather permitting. Want to take a minute to tell you about Gulf Coast Auto Shield, a Houston detail company like no other. Gulf Coast Auto Shield offers paint correction services that'll give your car, truck, or SUV a like-new shine. Afterwards, you'll want to protect it with a professionally installed nano-ceramic coating or protection film. Worried about your very expensive windshield getting damaged, broken, or cracked? Let Gulf Coast Auto Shield install ExoShield, a windshield protection film. Give John Gray a call today or check out their website, gcautoshield.com. Hey, whether you own a new, ultra-expensive, exotic, or a 5-year-old Suburban, Gulf Coast Auto Shield will help keep your investment looking like the day it rolled off the assembly line. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is conveniently located on the South Sam Houston Parkway, just south of I-69, the Southwest Freeway. Meet the staff and check out all of their services online right now at gcautoshield.com. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is now part of the iHeart family. Now you'll have access to 24/7 Car Talk anytime you need a fix. Just download the iHeart Radio app and ask for In Wheel Time Car Talk, and there we are. Be sure to save us in your iHeart library for instant access. No matter where you are, you have the best Car Talk Show right on your PC, laptop, or mobile device and never have to worry about finding us again. Of course, you can always get access to our video and audio streams via InWheelTime.com and your favorite podcast channel, and all of this is free to you. From the iHeart Radio app, you'll not only hear our Saturday morning live show, but the best shows of the past, updated weekly. Never miss a minute of up-to-date new car reviews, pre-owned reviews, Conrad's Car Clinic, informative interviews, automotive news, and the most fun car talk show on the planet. Just download the iHeart Radio app, search for In Wheel Time Car Talk, save it to your library, and with a tap of the icon, you'll be in touch with your favorite Car Talk team. In Wheel Time Car Talk, streaming now on iHeart.com/In Wheel Time Car Talk.
It is the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Just ahead, paperback writer Jack Nerad. Conrad has This Week in Auto History, and we'll get you updated on the stories making car news this week. Howdy, along with Mike out of This World Mars, King Conrad DeLong. We need more Jeff Seekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Thanks so much for joining us on this Saturday live edition. Okay, are we all ready?
For
Paperback Writer. Paperback Writer. You're not joining in.
Paperback Writer.
Here he is.
boy.
Look, hey, at least
I am not a Beatle.
Well, whatever. All we can do is look at Jack, and we see that little smirk on his face. So obviously he heard the fine quartet that we are.
Oh, gosh.
The Fab Four.
The Fab Four, that's
man.
us. Hi, Jack. How are you?
Hey, great to talk to you.
How do we sound on your end?
About the same. I think, just about the same.
Well, that's good. I mean, is that a good thing? I mean, do we
I
have?
think so.
Do you have enough volume? Are we distorted? I mean,
Do you want
have
us to sing another song?
Do we have our makeup
I'd say
on right?
no more distorted than usual. Okay,
well, there you go.
Are looking a little, distorted.
We're going to do Freebird next.
Yeah,
Okay, can't wait for that.
distorted. Well, that's kind of our modus operandi. Jack, I had no clue that you, sir, are a novelist.
Well, I'm a writer, and I have been for a long, long time now. And this is really my first novel. I've written a lot of nonfiction books, and I've written some true crime books. And this is my first novel.
Wow.
It's a crime novel. It's called Dance in the Dark. And it's, building on what I learned from a lot of true crime. I did a true crime book called Fatal Photographs. It was about a murder case that was kind of associated with the car business, actually, and the auto journalism business. And so this is kind of a natural segue. I'm kind of excited about it. I think it's an exciting book, and it's a lot like a true crime book. I think.
See, these things that we didn't know about you have all come out now, and now we know. Next thing you know, it's going to be you're going to be portrayed on television as the author of Dance in the Dark. I mean, I see big things
You're
happening.
going to be with Oprah next.
Yeah, I was thinking going on Oprah.
Yeah, they better happen fast. You're right, Don.
No, Jack, I mean, I was really, actually, honestly, really excited to see this. And I thought, wow, Jack, Look what he's doing. But for you, it's nothing. It's just another little chink in the armor there, I guess.
Well, I'm excited about it. I mean, when you are a writer and you finally publish your first novel, that's an exciting thing, right? And there's a lot riding on that. I mean, you can write about stuff that happened, and that's one thing, and it takes some talent to do that.
So let me just read this. Jason Griffiths is the former rock and roll drummer turned computer programmer who's afraid someone's trying to kill him, but he doesn't know why. After living a quiet life for years, suddenly his girlfriend leaves him. He meets the most beautiful woman he's ever seen, and within days he's wanted for the murder of a drug cartel enforcer, a murder he didn't commit. Cops thinks he did it, so does the cartel. So he's stuck between them with nowhere to turn. Now the only person who might be able to help him is the new woman in his life. But is his stunning new companion an asset or an enemy? I love I'm going to buy the book, Jack.
Well,
I
we can
am.
get you a copy, Don, but I hope a lot of people do buy the book. It's an exciting book. I don't think people will guess the ending. It's a suspense novel, kind of movie-like, I think, in a lot of ways. So I think people will enjoy it.
Listen, Hallmark needs all the help that they can get, and I'm going to propose to Hallmark that they pick up your novel and turn it into a movie.
And if they make a movie out of it, I suggest Mike be the cartel guy.
Yeah, Mars.
Oh, yeah. I got a sombrero I can wear.
Perfect casting. I like it.
Well, I do, too, and you can buy it online.
So how long did it take you to write the book, Jack?
It's a good question. I kind of started it a long time ago, and then I picked it up again. And I'm a fairly facile writer. I write pretty quickly. I trained in daily newspapers, so I feel pretty confident about just getting something out. So not a whole long period of time. There was actually a news clip that I read that kind of spurred this thing. So it really is spurred by something that is
based on a real story.
Yeah, I mean, there's elements of it. It's one of those things where you see something in the news and you go, well, what if this happened and this happened and this happened? What would be the best way to protect this kind of information? And I kind of went from there.
I've watched a lot of Perry Mason, so I could probably figure that out.
There you go. I did too. I mean, Saturday night, I think we sat and watched Perry Mason every night when I was a kid. So, guessing who the villain was or the murderer in that particular episode.
Well, those kind of things help. Yeah. Well, I'm thrilled, and it's a perfect time of the year. And, for $14 on Amazon, Dance in the Dark could be a Christmas gift or several. And it's one that I'm looking forward to reading. And I'm really excited because I know the author.
Well, very good. That's very kind of you, Don. I appreciate
it. Yeah, you bet. Well, Jack, it's obviously it's a little bit different than what we usually talk about on this show because with you, it's about cars, and rightly so. You're a well-versed author when it comes to car reviews and what's going on in the car industry. And I just got through reading a story about Carvana, and, I know that everybody thinks that I rag on the whole idea of Carvana, but, when they spend millions and millions of dollars on a damn vending machine to go get a car, it raises a red flag for me. I don't know about you. But then all of these other stories that we hear that they haven't, paid the states in which they operate to people to get their title. I mean, things are just too weird to me on this deal. What are your thoughts?
Well, it's kind of an interesting company, that's for certain. I mean, I don't know that people actually grasp that Carvana is really a used car dealer. It's a nationwide or, widely spread used car dealer. In some ways, a competitor to CarMax more than anything else. And, they have a particular marketing scheme, and it's a scheme makes it sound crooked. It's not that. A particular marketing method. That's okay for some people. I always suggest that people do some comparison shopping. What's on Carvana might, check the price there, check it at CarMax, check a local dealer, check all the sources you can before you buy a car. So there's a billion different ways to buy a car these days. That's for certain.
Well, and the other story that we read in the last hour is that inventory is really beginning to come back to the dealerships, and car manufacturers are starting to turn out more and more cars. And for you and I, that we try to have our ear to the ground when it comes to manufacturing and retailing new cars. That's pretty exciting because it's really been the doldrums here the past couple of years.
Yep.
Yeah, it's been very difficult. I mean, I talk to my friends at TrueCar a lot, and they have their finger on the pulse of the industry too. And they say in normal times or before COVID, the inventory on dealers' lots was about 3 million cars, and it got down in 2021 to be under 1 million.
Wow.
So when you knock down the inventory, what's that, 2/3 or something like that? Yeah, that's going to have some big time effects, and we're still feeling the effects now. Now inventory is back up maybe to 1.2 million, 1.5 million, something like that. As you say, Don, it's coming back, but it's still not where it was. And when there's more inventory, it's a lot easier for consumers to buy cars and get better deals.
Yeah.
But Jack, do you think they really want to, or they will get it back up to say that 3 million level?
It depends on who you're talking about. They, I mean, the car companies certainly want more inventory out there. The car manufacturers, the car dealers are doing pretty well in this kind of market, right? I mean, they're marking everything up beyond MSRP, not everything, but they're marking a lot of things up beyond MSRP. They have people coming in and buying vehicles right as they show up or before they show up, and then they call them when the vehicle arrives. So they're not having to do the amount of marketing, advertising that they would normally do. I think car manufacturers are going to change that, though. We're going to see more production. We're going to see more supply in the marketplace, and I think we're going to see incentives again.
I will tell you that I have a friend of mine that works for National and Enterprise Rent-A-Car, and they are, for the first time in a couple of years, actually starting to trickle in some new car inventory in the rental car market.
Right.
And to me, that's kind of a sign that if they're starting to get them in the rental fleets, then they're certainly showing up on dealer lots. And the first ones to come to mind, Kia and Hyundai. And apparently they're doing quite a good job at cranking out as many as they can, and they actually have inventory on dealer lots.
Yeah, they're doing a good job. And, the other side of the coin is a company like Honda. I mean, they really suffered and their sales are way, way down. And it's not like there's anything wrong with their vehicles. They're just a great deal of difficulty dealing with supply chain issues. So like you say, Hyundai and Kia doing a good job, cranking out a lot of vehicles. And those are certainly vehicles to look at if you're buying one. But others are still suffering from this big time.
Do you think the Hyundai Kia thing is somewhat related to the chip manufacturing in Korea?
Well, I think...
And their access to it?
Yeah, they have great access, right? I mean, they're such the dominant company in South Korea, Hyundai Corporation overall. So they have better access, I think, than some others to those important parts like chips.
What do you think about what's happening in the EV market? That seems to be all the rage these days. But I also read recently that inventory is up. And so that means to me that if you can go to a dealer and buy EVs now off the lot, that is the EV phenomenon kind of waning just a little bit in your eyes and estimation?
I think we're going to see fits and starts in EVs just like everything else. I think as there's more supply. I mean, there's several things mitigating against the spread of EVs, right? I mean, we're seeing interest rates go up, so they're already expensive to begin with. EVs are expensive to begin with versus a conventional car. And then you have the potential cost of an auto loan being even more. So that's an issue. Mm-hmm. You have, fuel prices going down, maybe not to the level that they were in 2020, 2019, but fuel prices have been down. They've been down here in California, for example. And I think high fuel prices were spurring people. When gas was $7 a gallon here, a lot of people looked at EVs. With gas being now $4.50 a gallon, I mean, you guys probably scoff at that as being low, but that actually seems pretty good, and a lot versus what it's been. And a lot of people are going, well, I'm not sure an EV is right for me right now.
Well,
Especially
not only
when
that,
supply is-
I will tell you that passed a gas station just this morning early, and price of a gallon of gas at a name brand retailer, $2.52 a gallon here in the Houston area. I'm not trying to make you jealous or anything.
No, but
Yeah,
I hit
exactly.
241 yesterday at the HEB.
And the difference for cash versus credit card also, there's like a 10-cent difference.
yeah. But I mean, that's here in Texas where we make the gas. So,
But
Yeah,
that
well, and
goes to
happily, you're still making the gas. I mean, that's the good thing.
Amen
And
to that,
yeah.
So where is your book available right now?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the first part of that.
Where is your book available today?
Amazon.
It's available on Amazon and at emlancy.com, which is the publishing company. Emlancy.
So are you coming into the studio for a book signing? We would love to have you here.
I'd love to be there. I'd love to be with you guys. It would be a lot of fun, and I'll make sure you get the copies of the book.
Do you ever come to Texas?
I do. But I come to Dallas and Fort Worth. I have a daughter who lives in Dallas, and I have another who lives in Fort Worth. They're both out of college. They both went to school in that area. And they love Texas. So, we get to Texas quite a bit, actually.
Well,
Not to Houston, though.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, I think that what we could do is plan a date somewhere in the middle. I'm thinking San Antonio. We could party like no tomorrow.
on the Riverwalk.
On the Riverwalk.
Or Woodlands.
And we'll go ahead and get the sombreros and the tequila shots on the river. And we'll rent one of the boats just for us.
I'd love to do it. I'd love to sit in with you guys sometime. I think it would be a blast. I always have such fun when I'm talking to you, and it's the highlight of my week.
Yeah, I'll bet. I'll bet it is.
Liar. Particularly when it's 7:30 his time.
Maybe I have an empty life. I might admit that. But,
His new book's going to be Lies in Cars.
Lies in Cars. Jack, we love you, man, and we're really excited about your new book. I did want to touch on one other thing with cars. I know that last time we talked, we were working on the the Car of the Year, and I know that you're on the board there of the Car of the Year awards. Has that where do we stand on that?
Well, we have named the finalists in North American Car of the Year, North American Utility of the Year, and North American Truck of the Year. So there are 3 contenders in each of those categories. And on January 11th, outside Detroit, I think we're actually going to do it in Pontiac, Michigan. We will be naming the Car of the Year, the Utility of the Year, and the Truck of the Year. So that's coming up. We're excited about it. We're in the final stages of judging, and then we do an election, basically. We have a balloting, a secret ballot that's audited by a big 8 accounting firm.
You can tell us.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, if I knew, I wouldn't tell you, but I don't know, so I can't tell you. And we haven't had the balloting yet, so we're a ways off.
How many people are involved in?
There are 50 jurors. 50 jurors.
Jurors, okay,
Jurors.
50.
We need to get on that.
And from what, all over the United States?
United States and Canada. I think we have 7 jurors, 7 or 8 from Canada.
That's fair.
How do you become a
Car of the
juror?
Year.
How do you become?
Yeah, how do you become a juror?
It's first you have to be probably in the industry for 15 or 20 years reviewing cars on a regular basis. And then there is a selection committee that when we have when somebody leaves the jury, and that happens every now and then, this committee puts in front of us, and I'm on the board, so I know kind of how it works. Some names of people who are logical candidates to become a juror.
Like a Don Armstrong.
That's what I was thinking.
Yes, exactly. Don Armstrong could very well be one.
Yeah, let's put him on as a nominee.
A nominee. Okay, yeah. Well, let me know when. How do I find out when the next opening is, so I can vie for that?
It just kind of happens, right? I mean, some people resign. You're kind of on the jury until you're either you retire because you're not reviewing cars anymore,
or die,
or you pass away.
Jack will call you, Don. Just hold your breath.
All right, yeah. I'm going to hold my breath. But I got a feeling that it's not as easy as it sounds because I've done some sort of industry kind of insider stuff and is like, wait a minute, this is way too much work.
Well, there's some work to it. There's some joy to it. You have to commit some time to it. It's an all-volunteer organization. We actually pay to be members of the jury. We don't get compensated for it. Some of our travel is compensated, but that's about it. So it does take an element of time, and I'm the vice president of the jury, so I guess it takes a little bit more of my time than it does for the typical juror.
The good news is you're on the jury. The bad news is you got to go to Detroit.
Yeah, exactly.
That's where he gets
a couple times a year.
Well, Jack, it's always great to talk to you. What is your website?
Several sites. I mean, Driving Today is a place to look for us. America on the Road is the radio show that I do, and America on the Road is on all the podcast channels, and it's out there. So please look for that. It's not as cool as your podcast, but we think we do it okay.
Oh my gosh! Well, you're too kind, but that's not the case at all, because I've watched America on the Road, and I thoroughly enjoy it, and I always thoroughly enjoy talking to you. Really excited about your new book, Dance in the Dark, available on Amazon, and I encourage.
I posted a link in Amazon.
I encourage everybody to consider it when you're buying your Christmas gifts this year. Jack, thank you. Thanks for getting up and talking to us this morning.
Well, thanks so much, and thanks for plugging my book a bit. I really do appreciate that.
Well,
I wish everybody happy holidays.
Well, and same to you. Merry Christmas, and be safe out there on New Year's.
Be a great Christmas gift.
Take care, Jack. Talk to you soon.
Take care, guys.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Cool.
I've always admired Jack Nerad.
That would make a great movie name.
Never met him in person, but I feel like he's a friend. He's one of the guys.
He is one of us. Yes, he is. Very knowledgeable, and somebody that you can trust with his opinions on cars.
Now, have you met him in person?
I met him once in Detroit.
I don't think I have met him in person. I wanted to, but never have.
Yeah.
Oh.
His security team kept you away?
Again.
He's smiling. He's still on.
Exactly. Well, I went to a funeral of a friend yesterday, and a mutual friend of Lieutenant Dan. Lieutenant Dan Patrick, Lieutenant Governor of the state of Texas. He was there, and he and I had a nice long conversation, and not about politics. It wasn't that at all. Dan's been a longtime friend of mine.
Dan's a car guy, too.
He is a car guy, and he cherishes his truck.
Yep.
And so,
and you can see it in his commercials.
And as a matter of fact, I remember one Mecum auction that we did 3 years ago. And Dan, I looked down there, and there's Dan, and he goes, "Don, what are you doing here?" I said, "What are you doing here?" Of course, his security detail and all of that. They're all looking at me. I'm going, go away. Hey, Danny, it's good to see you. That kind of thing. So it was good.
He did sit down and talk with us. It was real.
Gave us
real
an interview.
Yeah.
We need to get him back.
Well, he's. I was asking him, so what's
kind of busy right now.
What's your schedule like? He says, "Well, I'm trying to play catch up because of the election that he won, and so he wasn't able to do any of his real work." And now he's trying to play catch-up because the new session starts in the state right after the first of the year.
Or January.
And so he's trying to play catch-up and get ready for the new session. So he's a pretty busy guy. Anyway, it was good to talk to him. Time now for This Week in Auto History. And Conrad has that. Yeah. And we're glad you're back to do it.
Thank you. Yeah, I kind of watched Jeff work
Hey.
his way through it.
Well, when you put it in a different language, I got to interpret it.
There's that.
This week in 1955, the federal government standardized the size of license plates throughout the U.S. Previously, individual states could design their own license plates, resulting in wide variations of width, height. Some of them had some shapes of the state and stuff, and now they all look like this.
Yeah. Except they're not from 1967.
No, but it was, I think your oldest is 1961, so that is part of the standardized look.
Yeah.
In 1963, the Studebaker Brothers Manufacturing Company which was started during the Civil War, was the world's largest manufacturer of horse-drawn carriages when the automobile came along. Studebaker converted its business from carriages to becoming an automaker, but the brand couldn't keep up with its competitors despite a 1954 merger with the Packard Motor Company. So this week in 1963, the last American-made Studebaker was produced in South Bend, Indiana, and then they closed forever. And this was their Studebaker Lark. That is actually a picture of their last car that they made. Studebaker made some creative cars. They actually made a Lark station wagon.
I love it.
With a movable rear roof that kind of made it into a
freak!
bit of a pickup truck.
That's like a freak.
No. The Queen of England had a Land Rover that had that particular.
Well, you got to
style.
remember, Buick actually made something like that in the late '90s, early 2000s.
I like it
with a roof that would open up and allow you to stand tall stuff.
What a dream!
Like a
So did
refrigerator. You
GM,
can
and
do
how
your
did that work
refrigerator.
out for them?
Dream
It
car.
sucked.
In 1971, General Motors recalled 6.7 million vehicles that were vulnerable to motor mount failure. It was the largest voluntary safety recall in the industry's history. And then in 2015, Takata said, "Here, hold my beer. Watch this."
Yeah.
In 1979, the last Pacer was produced by American Motors Company. The bubble-topped Pacer was a reasonable, popular economy car, though its Jetson-styled body attracted flack from the car critics and stand-up comedians alike.
What an ugly thing.
There's nothing Jetson about that.
I know. Anita Martini actually had one of those. We all made fun of her for it.
And then in 2003 this week, Seattle preservationists loaded up the city's iconic Hat and Boots Texas gas station onto a tractor trailer to drive it away from the spot where it had stood for 50 years to move it into a preservation park.
A preservation park.
Yeah. So the Hat was 44 feet wide, and it stood over the office and of the gas station. Each of the boots, one boot was the male restroom, the other boot was the female restroom.
Oh,
Okay. Well,
There you
there
go.
you have it.
Something a little different.
All right. You done?
And then in 1947, the National Association of Stock Car Racing was founded at the Streamline Hotel, which was actually the first picture we saw there, in Daytona Beach, Florida.
Yeah. We noticed that it was the first one.
Yeah.
We're going, what is this about?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is this week in auto history.
Well, it was good.
Very good.
I enjoyed it. Is that motel still there?
Yes.
It is.
Streamline.
It's been much updated.
Well, I would hope so. Especially those mattresses. Woo.
Hot sheet.
Oh my goodness. Well, I don't want to get it. I had a news story, but I'm going to save the news stories for next because next hour because there's too many good ones. All right. Are you guys good with that?
Yep. I'm
Okay.
good.
So it's time now for a quick break here, and we'll be right back. You're on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show on iHeartRadio.
Starting to work on your Christmas calendar? Be sure to add the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In Saturday, December 17th. You'll want to attend Tailpipes and Tacos Christmas Edition at the Loopy Tortilla in Katy, 8 to 11 a.m. It's the only place cruisers compete for Loopy's Chili Pepper trophies and other prizes. There's no charge to enter your vehicle for Best Hot Rod, Best Classic, or Best Modern Classic. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's coolest and most unique cruise-in and is your opportunity to see the best hot rods, show cars, classics, and resto mods. And get Loopy Tortilla breakfast tacos with adult beverages. There's no entry fee and cars will automatically compete for those much sought-after custom Loopy trophies and other prizes. It happens at the Loopy Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10. It's the Tailpipes and Tacos Christmas Edition, Saturday, December 17th. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show will be there too. Celebrate the Christmas season with friends and family at Tailpipes and Tacos. Saturday morning, December 17th, 8 to 11. We'll see you then, weather permitting. Want to take a minute to tell you about Gulf Coast Auto Shield, a Houston detail company like no other. Gulf Coast Auto Shield offers paint correction services that'll give your car, truck, or SUV a like-new shine. Afterwards, you'll want to protect it with a professionally installed nano-ceramic coating or protection film. Worried about your very expensive windshield getting damaged, broken, or cracked? Let Gulf Coast Auto Shield install ExoShield, a windshield protection film. Give John Gray a call today or check out their website, gcautoshield.com. Hey, whether you own a new, ultra-expensive, exotic, or a 5-year-old Suburban, Gulf Coast Auto Shield will help keep your investment looking like the day it rolled off the assembly line. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is conveniently located on the South Sam Houston Parkway, just south of I-69, the Southwest Freeway. Meet the staff and check out all of their services online right now at gcautoshield.com. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is now part of the iHeart family. Now you'll have access to 24/7 Car Talk anytime you need a fix. Just download the iHeart Radio app and ask for In Wheel Time Car Talk, and there we are. Be sure to save us in your iHeart library for instant access. No matter where you are, you have the best Car Talk Show right on your PC, laptop, or mobile device and never have to worry about finding us again. Of course, you can always get access to our video and audio streams via InWheelTime.com and your favorite podcast channel, and all of this is free to you. From the iHeart Radio app, you'll not only hear our Saturday morning live show, but the best shows of the past, updated weekly. Never miss a minute of up-to-date new car reviews, pre-owned reviews, Conrad's Car Clinic, informative interviews, automotive news, and the most fun car talk show on the planet. Just download the iHeart Radio app, search for In Wheel Time Car Talk, save it to your library, and with a tap of the icon, you'll be in touch with your favorite Car Talk team. In Wheel Time Car Talk, streaming now on iHeart.com/In Wheel Time Car Talk.
It is your go-to place for entertaining car talk, the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Just ahead, author of a racing safety book called Crash. Jeff has a feature on 5 Pontiacs car fans have forgotten about. And later, we'll have auto Christmas gift ideas from none other than Mercedes Lilienthal.
All right.
And the stories making auto news headlines, along with Conrad's Car Clinic.
Award-winning Mercedes Lilienthal.
Yep.
That's it.
We'll get to that.
Howdy. Along with Mike Out of This World Mars, King Conrad DeLong. We need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Hey, thanks so much for joining us on this Saturday. We truly appreciate you joining us. 2 weeks to go to Christmas. Next weekend is the Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise-In. We'll be at that. Hey, make plans to attend. Either enter your car. All you have to do is just drive into the parking lot.
Show up. You are entered.
To get one of the chili pepper trophies that we have sitting right back here. There are 3 trophies. Yes, there are 3 trophies that are given away. And it's a great event. 3 hours, cruise in. The weather's supposed to be fantastic.
No cost to come to the show.
No, not at all.
You show up. We've got a selection committee person that walks around, checks out all the cars, and then we select the winner.
Yeah, and I've got a couple buddies of mine coming, bringing their
that's good.
Their specialty items out.
And I will tell you that it's a good thing, and any money that you spend, all of it goes to Shirley's Kids. It's a charity, and it's that time of the year that you need to give a little bit, and it'll be a good opportunity for you to get the car out. And with the weather that's supposed to be absolutely spectacular next Saturday, it's a great time.
The last hurrah
of the
for
year,
the end of the
so
year.
to speak. Yeah, exactly. So I want to talk to you now about Jonathan Ingram, and he is the author of a book called Crash. Jonathan, good morning to you.
Good morning, guys. Happy 2 weeks before Christmas.
Yeah, and same to you, too. I did not know that there was a book about racing safety. And you have authored a book called Crash. Continues to be a leading resource on the subject of racing safety. And you mention in here Jeff Gordon's 2008 Crash confirmed the role of Hans in racing safety revolution. And for those people that don't know, that are watching or listening to our show this morning, tell everybody what Hans is and what it stands for.
Well, the Hans stands for the head and neck support, because it has that name because that's kind of a racing name. There's a lot of guys out there that have been successful going racing named Hans. But it's called the head and neck support originally because it was designed to not only save drivers from basal skull fractures in a crash. It was also the original Model 1, designed by Dr. Robert Hubbard, was designed to help a driver, in this case Jim Downing, who was the inspiration behind it, to keep his head up, more or less. Give him head and neck support, for example, at Sebring during a long 12-hour race with a lot of high G corners, rough track, several stints behind the wheel. Tall, slender guy like Jim, he wanted something to help give him neck support. So it had tethers on the side, the Model 1, as well as the tether in the back. And during a race, Jim could reach up and tug those tethers to tighten, give himself more neck support from the device.
And it was a basal skull fracture that ultimately killed Dale Earnhardt. And that kind of really got the ball rolling, did it not, in this particular item of safety?
Yes and no, because there were so many crashes in the 90s and 2000 that took lives as a result of basal skull fracture in major professional races. So, Adam Petty in 2000 would be one of them. Kenny Irwin, both of those were in NASCAR the summer before Dale got killed. Tony Roper, so those three guys died of basal skull fractures in 2000. So Dale was the fourth within 2 years in NASCAR. So there was, just in NASCAR alone, there was that those prior deaths, and everybody thought, as usual in racing, it's not going to happen to me. When it happened to Dale Earnhardt, that really did get everybody's attention.
And for our listeners to understand, basal skull fracture, that is a fracture of one of the bones low on where your head connects to your neck. Is that true?
Yes, right in the middle, central part of the skull. That's where the neck connects and goes, has a couple of arteries there, and those arteries run into the brain, and so there's a hole at the base of the skull, and that's where the atlas connects. The atlas divide. I'm forgetting my medical history now, but the atlas cervical, the top number 1 cervical bone, connects right there at that hole at the base of the skull, and that's where the major veins and arteries go in and out of the brain. So what happens when there's a fracture in that area, if it's bad, the fracture, then it severs the artery, and the person suffering the injury bleeds to death within 30 seconds. And we've seen that over time. But also Ernie Irvan, for example, or Formula One driver Mika Hakkinen, they survived basal skull fractures. It was a fracture, but it wasn't bad enough to sever those arteries. So, that's the medical event that takes place.
And the purpose of the Hans device is connects to a helmet, to a shoulder restraint and a shoulder harness, and that way in a sudden stop, sudden impact, that bowling ball you have for a head doesn't continue to go forward and stretch and separate, causing that basal skull fracture.
Yes.
I simplified it way more than I'm sure some doctor wants me to.
Well, that you've just brought up the origin of the book. Crash from Senna to Earnhardt. How the Hans helped save racing, which I happen to have a copy of here.
Cool.
I don't know if this is on Mercedes' list, but here it is.
Very good, yes. Very good, yes. Absolutely. Well, how long did it take you to put together the book?
Well, it took a while. Let me back up. I actually worked at Hans Performance Products for a while, and I began reporting on the Hans in the early 90s. And here in Atlanta, I knew Jim Downing, based here in Atlanta. Hans Performance Products was actually making the Hans device. I covered Jim and IMSA races. He was wearing the Hans device. So I was familiar with it early on. I did the first reporting on it, and I was working for the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. So and the first story would have been 1992. But if you fast forward, I was working at Hans in 2010, and I finally figured out how it worked. So your description is very apt, but what generally is not understood is that the Hans transfers the energy. That's why it works. That is the most important thing. It transfers the energy from the helmet to the tethers connected to the device, through the carbon fiber device, and into the torso. So the energy has to go somewhere, and there's a lot of it in any kind of crash that is more than 40 Gs in terms of the amount of energy coming through the cockpit. So that's what started the book. I said, holy cow, if I've been doing this for 20 years, and I didn't quite realize how it worked, there's probably a book there. And also there's, the long struggle of Jim and Bob Hubbard to bring it to everyone's attention and get it approved, accepted by drivers, mandated by sanctioning bodies. Took 20 years. That's a pretty good story as well. So I started on the book in 2012. I finished it in 2019. I had other books. There was a lot of research, a lot of interviews.
Well, and plus in that 7 years of 2012 through 2019, the technology and the data of crash protection for automotive race drivers has changed substantially. So I imagine your book had to evolve a little bit as those 7 years passed.
Well, it's a point-to-point kind of book. That's why it's called From Senna to Earnhardt. And of course, I'm sure everyone on your panel realizes or knows that Ayrton Senna was not killed by a basal skull fracture. He was killed by an errant suspension piece. But the safety revolution, it's charting more or less the safety revolution that started with Senna's death in 1994. And of course, the day before, Roland Ratzenberger was killed by a basal skull fracture. So, but the FIA, which sanctions Formula One, was astounded and stunned by the world's reaction to Senna's death. There wasn't a lot of overt and reaction to outside of the sport to Ratzenberger's death, but it's holy cow, how can this very popular three-time champion be killed in one of your racing cars? And if that's what happens in your sport, of course, Senna was on TV a lot. The series F1 had been on TV for a number of years, thanks to Bernie Ecclestone, had a lot to do with his popularity. So there was a huge backlash. I mean, the newspapers in Paris, Le Monde and Le Figaro, both were writing editorials about it. The newsletter from the Vatican declared Formula One to be an immoral activity, all in response to Senna, and who was sponsored by a tobacco company and had a Renault engine in his car. So that really set off a huge backlash, and Max Mosley, president of the FIA, realized that they really needed to change and address safety to prevent any driver from getting killed first in Formula One, and foremost from losing a major star. So it's a point-to-point book. Starts with Senna's death and then comes through to Earnhardt's death. And again, huge backlash, as we all know, and a lot of controversy about NASCAR's investigation. There's quite a bit in the book dedicated to NASCAR's investigation and the two books they gave the media about what happened.
Now, I know early on there actually was a competitor out there to the Hans device. I don't say competitor as, it was a competing product. But Hans is the accepted product throughout the automotive racing, I'll call it industry now, because you watch these guys put those on. Doesn't matter what car they're getting in, whether it's sports car racing, road racing, drag racing. Everybody, you know, if you kind of watch them when they put their helmets on, they put the little horseshoe over their shoulders, and then the helmet clips into it, and then they strap themselves in the car. So is Hans still the predominant device everybody uses?
Yes, and the reason for that is that it was patented by Dr. Hubbard twice. Once for the Model 1, the wraparound version, which again appears on the cover of the book, the original Model 1 wraparound device. And then thanks to the F1 safety movement, that device was converted to a Hans that still had the same tall collar, but had 2 tethers at the rear, not tethers on the side. So it was no longer a device designed to save a driver in side impacts. That had to be done through cockpit surrounds, basically.
Yes.
And it instead became a frontal device and offset in 30 degrees on either side, because that's what would fit in cars better.
Jonathan, is the Hans device now mandatory for many racing series?
Mandatory? I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch the full.
Yes. Is it mandatory? Is it mandatory now with different racing series? For instance, does NASCAR mandate that if you're going to race our cars, you have to have a Hans device on?
You have to have a certified head restraint, and SFI. You guys probably know SFI.
Yes.
Which does all the so much testing on behalf of when they're requested by sanctioning bodies. It's so that you have to have one that's passes the test and is certified by SFI. So to go back to an earlier question, there are a number of head restraints out there. By far and large, there are more than 300,000 Hans devices. So it started the head restraint movement, if you will. As you know, in racing, if you have a product that's going to be popular or successful, etc., people will other manufacturing groups, people will try to
copy
inventors will come in and try to do something similar. So that's what's happened. But they do have to go through a certification process.
I'd like for you to address just for a moment here as we kind of wrap up, and that is that you mentioned on many occasions throughout the press release here about the Jeff Gordon crash in 2008. Address that for a moment, if you would.
Yeah, that's an interesting story, because the sanctioning bodies, again, to go back to F1 and the death of Senna, but then you also lost Greg Moore, a rising star in kart in 1999, whose death was preceded by Gonzalo Rodriguez, who suffered a basal skull fracture. And then you lost Earnhardt. So the sanctioning bodies really began to tune in, sadly, when star drivers, known champions, guys who sold a lot of tickets began to get killed. That's what really got their attention. So Hans was mandated by NASCAR in 2001 by the end of the season. By NASCAR, it was the first one to mandate the Hans for all races. CART had mandated it for ovals. So 2008, Jeff Gordon found one of those walls that was not protected by a safer barrier at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. He hit so hard the radiator in the front of his Hendrick Motorsports Chevy was several hundred yards down the track. And he credited the Hans for saving his life. And he also had the updated carbon seat. He was also driving the car tomorrow, which had crush paneling in it that absorbed some of the energy. He did not hit the safer barrier, which was around the perimeter outside of the track. So the outside walls. So Jeff became the first champion in NASCAR since Earnhardt was killed, to be saved by the Hans device. There were a lot of other drivers saved by it, but in Jeff's case, he was the first champion saved. And of course, he went on to do a lot more racing, and now he's a vice chairman of the Hendrick Group. So, that's a very good thing. And of course, that device is in the Smithsonian, and it's now on display at the Nation of Speed show at the National Air and Space Museum on the Mall in Washington, D.C. That device had saved Jeff.
Well, Jonathan, it's been a pleasure to talk to you, and what a great interview this has been. Very informative. Jonathan Ingram, author of a book called Crash, and we certainly encourage everybody that's interested to check your book out. Where can we get it? Is it available at Amazon?
Okay, thanks, guys. I really enjoyed it. Some good questions.
All right, well, thank you, and I assume that it is available on Amazon. The book, again, is called Crash, From Senna to Earnhardt. All right, time now for, we normally have the racing calendar here, but there isn't any racing, so let's move on, if we don't mind, to Jeff's 5 Pontiacs car fans have forgotten.
Yeah, there's actually about 25 different models for Pontiac from the outset to 2010. But I picked 5. These are my 5 favorites. Stuff that really kind of makes me look at it and go, where are they now? So, Conrad, with your assistance on this.
Where are they now?
Where are they now?
Pontiac's long gone,
yeah,
and it ain't coming back.
There you go. There you go. Established in 1926, the Pontiac Motor Division was a proud member of the General Motors family since day one. For most of its life, Pontiac was among the top sellers and a valued addition to the lineup. Pontiac was an economy brand close to the Chevrolet in pricing and the model selection. However, from the early 1960s and onward, it was a performance brand image suited best in those days by Pontiac. The number one we have, as soon as we get it here, is a 1962 Pontiac Tempest. In the early 60s, all major U.S. car manufacturers introduced compact models. Chevrolet had the Corvair, Ford had a Falcon, Plymouth had a Valiant, and Pontiac had the Tempest. In most cases, those compact models were smaller versions of the bigger cars they shared the platform with. However, Pontiac went in a different route and presented one of the most advanced and most interesting American cars of the era. The new Tempest had an independent suspension at the time when all cars used a live rear axle. In addition, the Tempest used a rear-mounted gearbox. The transaxle design, which was unheard of at the time, the Tempest didn't have a conventional drive shaft. It connected the engine to the front of the transmission in the back and instead used tubes, cable tubes.
Not unlike Don's Corvette.
Right, exactly. Well, that's what I said. It was unheard of at the time.
The C5 Corvette uses the same technology. Yep. And actually, this car, this Tempest, I would say could have been made somewhat famous in the movie My Cousin Vinny.
Okay.
Because that was one of the things that she identified as the difference in looking at the tracks on the ground. Was that in your story?
Well, not anymore. Pontiac GT37, the next one, is behind the strange name was a Tempest, but with performance options. Much more like the GTO model. Pontiac advertised the G37 as the GTO Light, but the car lacked exterior features and the famous Endura bumper and rear spoiler. So in 1971, they offered the famous 455 V8, but it was only in a handful of the cars. This meant that buyers could spend $3,000 and they could get it to produce 255 horsepower, all the way up to 345 horsepower. Pontiac advertised the G37 as GTO Light again, and they only made about 2,000 of them.
Wow.
Now, quite collectible.
My cousin, Doug Schaefer, who's a friend of the show and subscribes, he had a Pontiac back in the 60s. Loved the car growing up. He was
this Pontiac?
No, a GTO.
Okay.
Pontiac GTO, white one convertible, and I think that's what he had. It might have been a Tempest, but I'm pretty sure it was a GTO. The next one we have is a Pontiac Granville in the early 70s through the Pontiac Motor Division. Pontiac decided
that was a boat.
Pontiac decided to enter in the luxury car market by introducing a top-of-the-line model called the Granville. At the time, the Bonneville was Pontiac's premier model with several body styles available. It was a nice lineup of engines, It was considered the wise choice of a luxury car in the field for Pontiac. However, Pontiac wanted something closer to the Cadillac and the Oldsmobile rather than to the Chevrolet Caprice. So that's what they put the Granville in there. So they presented it as a Pontiac Granville using the Bonneville platform, most of the sheet metal, and a few trim differences of the two models. Had a 400 horsepower V8 engine. Standard 455 was the optional engine. Getting to the nitty-gritty, the Pontiac Grand Am. The late 70s performance car segment was just a pale shadow of its former glory. But the Pontiac Grand Am introduced as a 1 year only and the last true muscle car for that year. Yep. And
Shaker hood like a Trans Am.
You betcha.
And then they used the name later on for another model of car. Go ahead.
Yep, that's okay. The Grand Am package considered special rear louvers, rear spoiler, long list of options. It introduced this car in 77, and the market responded well.
Yeah.
In fact, Pontiac received between 5,000 and 10,000 reservations or orders.
I remember the car.
Yep. But by the end, they only sold 1,377 of them.
And generally, the car was built with the 400 engine, but it was the Oldsmobile 403.
Right.
You could get it with a 4-speed manual in this body style, and if you got it with the 4-speed manual, it came with the Pontiac 400 engine, which had much more horsepower and torque than the Oldsmobile 403.
Yeah, and again, 1 year they didn't produce it in 78. They just didn't have enough. And the last one, my favorite, is the 1965. It's a Catalina 2+2.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, another pure muscle car icon.
barge.
I remember that, yeah.
Yeah. Behind the strange name hides a full-size Catalina model and available as a coupe, convertible, and with a performance twist. The regular Catalina, great-looking, decent-selling model, but the 2+2 form transformed the Gran Turismo with a luxury interior fire-breathing engine. That's a mouthful there. Since the Catalina was a full-size model, it was eligible for the two engines, 400 and also the 421. And if you wanted to get a tri-power intake system, you could, which came off of the GTO for this, and you could get one for about $4,000.
So it came with 3 2-barrel carburetors. It also came with 8-lug wheels.
Yes.
If you remember those. And the wheel was actually the drum of the brake. It was really an odd piece.
And if you come out to Coffee and Chrome, there are some older Pontiacs that have the 8-lug wheel out there. Yep.
Oh, that's right. Yes, I saw one of those. I'll be.
Yep.
Well, who'd have thunk it?
Who'd have thunk it?
I had no clue. I see that the Lilienthals are there.
Are they?
Yes.
The award-winning Lilienthal, Mercedes
yes,
Lilienthal is there.
Yes. Mercedes is the award-winning. The other
Texas award-winning.
The other Lilienthal is Mr. Warn, or the winch, as it were. Look at them. They're going, are they talking about us?
What are they doing? Remember?
Yeah. Remember. So we're going to talk to them here in about 3 minutes or so. So I invite you to stay tuned for the Lilienthal interview coming your way very, very shortly. Mr. Mars, you looked at me like you wanted to say something, but you don't have your headset on, so I really can't. I really can't hear what you're
He's got his earbuds in.
He's doing like this.
He can't read your mind.
He's chewing it.
Exactly. So that's okay.
He can read your mind. He just doesn't understand it.
That's exactly right, because it's in some language that hasn't been invented yet.
Yeah, that's a problem I've always had.
Yeah. Cutting edge, that's you. All right. Well, we're going to take a break. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show streams on the iHeart app, Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com. And podcasts are available from your favorite podcast channel. Hey, the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show continues right after this quick break.
Starting to work on your Christmas calendar? Be sure to add the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise-In Saturday, December 17th. You'll want to attend Tailpipes and Tacos Christmas Edition at the Loopy Tortilla in Katy, 8 to 11 a.m. It's the only place cruisers compete for Loopy's Chili Pepper trophies and other prizes. There's no charge to enter your vehicle for Best Hot Rod, Best Classic, or Best Modern Classic. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's coolest and most unique cruise-in and is your opportunity to see the best hot rods, show cars, classics, and resto mods. And get Loopy Tortilla breakfast tacos with adult beverages. There's no entry fee, and cars will automatically compete for those much sought-after custom Loopy trophies and other prizes. It happens at the Loopy Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10. It's the Tailpipes and Tacos Christmas Edition, Saturday, December 17th. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show will be there too. Celebrate the Christmas season with friends and family at Tailpipes and Tacos. Saturday morning, December 17th, 8 to 11. We'll see you then, weather permitting. Want to take a minute to tell you about Gulf Coast Auto Shield, a Houston detail company like no other. Gulf Coast Auto Shield offers paint correction services that'll give your car, truck, or SUV a like-new shine. Afterwards, you'll want to protect it with a professionally installed nano-ceramic coating or protection film. Worried about your very expensive windshield getting damaged, broken, or cracked? Let Gulf Coast Auto Shield install ExoShield, a windshield protection film. Give John Gray a call today or check out their website, gcautoshield.com. Hey, whether you own a new, ultra-expensive, exotic, or a 5-year-old Suburban, Gulf Coast Auto Shield will help keep your investment looking like the day it rolled off the assembly line. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is conveniently located on the South Sam Houston Parkway, just south of I-69, the Southwest Freeway. Meet the staff and check out all of their services online right now at gcautoshield.com. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is now part of the iHeart family. Now you'll have access to 24/7 Car Talk anytime you need a fix. Just download the iHeart Radio app and ask for In Wheel Time Car Talk, and there we are. Be sure to save us in your iHeart library for instant access. No matter where you are, you have the best Car Talk Show right on your PC, laptop, or mobile device and never have to worry about finding us again. Of course, you can always get access to our video and audio streams via InWheelTime.com and your favorite podcast channel, and all of this is free to you. From the iHeart Radio app, you'll not only hear our Saturday morning live show, but the best shows of the past, updated weekly. Never miss a minute of up-to-date new car reviews, pre-owned reviews, Conrad's Car Clinic, informative interviews, automotive news, and the most fun car talk show on the planet. Just download the iHeart Radio app, search for In Wheel Time Car Talk, save it to your library, and with a tap of the icon, you'll be in touch with your favorite Car Talk team. In Wheel Time Car Talk, streaming now on iHeart.com/In Wheel Time Car Talk.
Hello, little mama.
Hello.
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 Come for your daughter, Chuck.
Coming for your daughter, Chuck. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. And diddling with, the audio console over here. Again. Welcome to the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Just ahead, the Lilienthal's.
All right.
Yep. Mercedes and Andy.
From
Gonna join us.
Portlandia.
Yeah. From where?
Portlandia.
Portlandia. We're talking about auto gift ideas from her recent travels, and we're also going to talk about her awards that she has won. Conrad's back with the In Wheel Time Car Clinic, and we'll have this week's automotive news. Howdy, along with Mike, Out of This World Mars, King Conrad DeLong, who's back. We need more Jeff Zekin all the time. You don't want to know who I am, so it doesn't make any difference. Thank you for joining us. I'm just the generic semi-host of this mess. Hope you understand.
Moving from cars to semis, are you?
I am. I wouldn't know how to drive a semi. Well, actually, I would know how to drive it. I don't know how to shift the gears in it.
I think a lot of them have
that
gone
part of
automatic.
driving?
Yeah, well, I think a lot of them have gone what we would consider to be automatic.
Really?
I don't think you have the, you got to remember years past, you had the two shifters.
Yeah.
You had to shift the
And the 8
gearbox. You
pedals
had to
and-
shift the
yeah.
differential.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. No, I think that's a long time ago.
Ladies and gentlemen, live from the great Northwest, it's the Lilienthal's, Andy and Mercedes. Hello.
Hello.
How are you guys?
She's blinking. She's blinking.
Yeah, he's blinking. Yeah, he's barely awake, but we're here.
Well, that's good.
Well, we need to see his shirt again. You kind of showed it to us.
He looks like an elf. You look like a little elf.
This is from Agony Company, and yes, it has the backside on it as well. So
The latest edition.
An elf on a Bugatti instead of elf on a shelf.
Limited edition sweater.
I think this is a McLaren F1 actually, but I could be wrong.
Fits him to the T.
I'm not sure. Maybe it's just a sports car. So
Of course, they ordered it for me, and of course, fits him better. So he's wearing it.
Well, it's great to see you guys, and thank you very much for getting up and joining us at the god-awful hour of 8:30 on the Northwest Coast.
Coffee, thank you. Yes, always coffee is always the solution.
That's it. So I guess let's start with Mercedes. we're going to talk to you about auto gift ideas from her recent car adventures. But I guess congratulations are in order from your wins and your accolades that you have achieved from all of your travels and writings and postings and that sort of thing. So congratulations.
Well, thank you. And back at Michael. I mean, you won a couple too for In Wheel Time in the cruise. So just right back at you. You guys are very talented as well. So heard that you guys picked up a couple of accolades with Tawa.
But we don't know what we're really talented for.
Yeah.
We're still
when you find it out, let us know. Let us know.
Yeah,
we won some acrylic. So did you.
Yeah, acrylic. There you have it. And of course,
lots of talented people in that group. So I'm honored and very humbled to be a part of that.
well, thank you. We love having you guys. We love, you're kind of part of our little family here. And I don't know, you've gotten to know our quirky habits, which is kind of scary if you think about it.
That's for sure.
But so I thought that this was pretty interesting. Mr. Mars talked to you about auto gift ideas from your recent car adventures, and lots of car adventures, most of it off-road, and I didn't know that there were any stores or trinket shops along the way that you could pick up stuff.
There are a lot of different places you can get things. Andy has also been traveling quite a bit. We've been traveling together. The Alcan 5000 rally, which you guys have had us on recently to talk about as well, is one of the places that we've tested a lot of our gear with. And some of the items that we're here to talk about are made it on that list of our top gear because we put it through its paces and we thought, gosh, this is just a great bit of kit and it's going to be making our future travel so much easier moving forward. So,
but there were a few events that we did, some of which were camping, and some of this gear really stood out to us during these camp trips too.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you, I'm just going to divert to the side just for a moment. I noticed that we've never been invited along to meet up at one of these camping trips. And I think, wow, what a great adventure for all of us. All 6 of us could be there and enjoy each other's weirdness. How's that?
Yeah, Mike's camping name is Smokey the Bear.
That's it.
Well, we'll be sure to send an invite next time where I'll shoot you over the coordinates.
Yeah, bring us the beer.
Send the coordinates. That's exactly right.
And then we have to navigate our way there.
Yeah,
oh, good luck.
Yeah, good luck on that.
Magellan.
Can you see us? Oh, here they come now. It's only 4 days late, but yeah, I think that's them. So let's talk about these gift ideas that you've got for us for Christmas.
Yeah, and hopefully I've got them in the right order for Jeff.
Yeah, hopefully. So we'll Mercedes, Andy, we'll let you guys take it away.
Well, we've got props. So, if you don't have the photos ready, we've got props. So,
Well,
Andy,
we're ready. We've got something that's on the top of a truck here.
On top of the truck.
Okay. Well, we can start with the first one here.
Right.
So
this, you may be wondering what this is. This is actually what they call a guy line anchor. It's from a company called K-Wood. It's actually a South African design. Our friends have started bringing these into the U.S. But what this is it's basically a super great tent stake. So you drive this into the ground at an angle, down like this, and you attach your guy lines from your tent or whatnot to the hook here. And as the wind pulls it, it actually will drive it down farther into the ground. It's also made out of spring steel, so you can see it bounces right back. So the harder the wind, the harder it goes into the ground. I used these at a number of events this year, and they are like, I'm throwing away all my other tent stakes. These things are just incredible. They work super well.
They work good in sand?
If you drive them down far enough, they will, yeah.
Right.
How long is it?
These are the medium-sized ones. They make really long ones that would be better in sand.
Yeah, so what's the name of them again? Because that one I'm definitely interested in.
K-Wood, Kwood, and it's kwoodusa.com.
Is it K-Wood or K-Wood US, K-Wood USA or Anchors USA? We sent you guys the links to all of the products that we're talking about. Maybe we could post them.
KWoodanchorusa.com.
And they come in a set of 4. We sent you guys all the links. Maybe we can pop them up on the website or in the comments afterwards. But Pack of 4 of these guys, $25, around $25. So for me, when it comes to vehicle awnings or a tent or something like that, those are a lot more expensive than $25. So we swear by these.
Oh yeah, it almost looks like it could be used for like the inflatable Christmas yard work, yard ornaments as well.
Absolutely.
Right,
I use these all summer with 10 by 10 pop-up tents at shows as well. And some other 10 by 10 is now 40 feet up in the air. Ours was secured. So
Very good.
Cool.
Should we go right down the line?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just, I'm not sure whatever line we have, but I'll just grab the next item that we have off the list here. So this is a Scosche Power Up. This is the 32K Power Up battery bank. So what's interesting with this unit here, so it's got USB-C, USB-A, I think you can see it against my window reflection here, and also just a regular house plug. And it's got a light. I will not burn your retinas up with this light here. But this is a pretty powerful battery bank. It's not very small, but it is something that you can charge multiple devices with. Yeah, there you go.
Phone, here's this, just to give you an idea. This is like
a perspective.
cell phone.
Yeah.
And it has a digital readout, so when you do turn it on, right now it's fully charged 100%. And when you do charge it, the last numeric blinks to tell you exactly where it is. It does charge up fairly easily. This thing has been a quintessentially important bit of kit. We got this. They were actually one of our sponsors for the Alcan 5000 rally. And this thing now has become like our first go-to to pack, because we just literally chuck this in the back seat and it charges all of our camera batteries, all of our headlamps, all of our stuff on the go.
Does it charge it off of 110, and how long does it take to charge?
Yeah, it charges up to 110. Gosh, fully depleted. Good question. Fully depleted. We always charge it whenever we get home.
So I used this on the Four-Wheeler Magazine Overland Adventure. It was a multi-day overland adventure throughout the deserts of Southern California. And I brought this to charge my devices. And just each night I'd bring it up into the rooftop tent with me, plug my phone and whatnot in. It was great. Compact, also doubles a flashlight.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can put multiple days, and you can even plug, like I can charge my laptop off of this too. So this is a nice bit of kit. And for us, this is a cheap item. So I think the price on this retails at $250 or just shy around there. So it's more expensive, but then again, it's kind of like one of those buy one type of thing. But this is like our go-to for camp stuff.
Sure, I can understand that. Looks good. Next.
Speaking of charging things, you're like, what are these little crazy things on dongles? These are the next iteration of rechargeable batteries. I came across these actually online. They have different sizes. These are just double A's and double A's and triple A's, but they also have different size additional batteries. Excuse me, they're a little tough because I just got these. But these are plug-in literally right away from the ports. These are from a company called Pale Blue Earth. Oh, there you go. Hi. Andy's got the lighting here, the pod lighting. And these recharge directly from here. You just simply plug them in. They're very minimal for packaging. And you plug them in via USB. That's it. You have no crazy casing. You got no whatever. And this is how you plug them in. They literally come with a little tiny plastic case. Very minimal packaging, and away you go.
Nice.
Use them only for a couple of rotations on different products right now. Super quick to charge, super quick to use, easy to use, and very minimal. You don't have like these bulky boxes like we've had with older generation of recharge stuff. And I think the prices for these, at least for doubles and triple A's, packs of 4, are like $24 to $30. So great stuff. Stocking stuffers again. Pale Blue Earth. I just got these not that long ago, but again, next generation USB-C.
Nice. We like it.
Yeah. So this is another one that I found like super, super duper useful when I was on the Overland Adventure. This is going to be a lantern. So you can see it goes red, it goes really bright, it does flashy things for I think that's to get zombies away or something. But, so it can dim. This is from LED Lenser. This is a company. They're actually U.S. headquarters here in Oregon. But it's a soft lantern. And then you can charge. It's got a charge port on one side, and then you can charge it up on the other side.
You can use it as a battery bank.
Hang it. You can use it as a battery bank. It's super great for if you're working on the car. You can put it in the engine bay or underneath. Especially if you're traveling, you can just toss that guy in the glove box, and you've got a super cool, great work lamp too.
Magnets. So under the hood, right there.
Yep.
Magnets. That's the whole thing.
Yeah, very nice.
Your heads. The base is a little bit hard to get on, but once you get it on, it's not going to come off.
Yeah, there's a little hook.
Oh yeah,
here,
there's
too.
the hook.
So
perfect
little trouble lamp too.
So yeah, I think the retail on that's about $90. So again, a little bit higher price, but it's a German company. And they've got a U.S. headquarters here, actually, in Portland area. So, again, good products, buy ones, try ones, but we've been really happy. We've bought their headlamps. They make a lot of different kinds of headlamps. We've bought them for years and years, and they've never really let us down. And if we have any troubles, their warranty department is fabulous.
And if you're a first-time buyer off their website, they've got a 20% coupon. I just posted that up.
We may or may not have just bought some things for Christmas for people. So
Yeah, I'm sitting here making my Christmas list, I can assure you.
Yeah, right, exactly.
We're not going to surprise you.
No, we're not going to. Yeah, exactly. So, the next two things that are on our Christmas list for items aren't necessarily stocking stuffer sizes, nor items that are easily something we could show you because they're bigger. But if you guys have them, they're. I don't know if you wanted to start talking about the Warn winches. Or the camp system that we have.
So, again, on the four-wheeler adventure, I managed to get myself pretty stuck. We had a very soft section of sand with a sand dune that we had to go up. Now, I was in one of my little turbo diesel Mitsubishi Pajeros from Japan, pulling a small camp trailer, and the guy in front of me was in a big sportsmobile van with a tune on it. It was a diesel. And I watched him get stuck a couple of times going up, and I thought, I got one shot at this with the trailer. And, of course, I didn't make it. So out came the winch. That's a Warn Xeon 8S winch, 8,000-pound capacity for the smaller vehicles, but they're available in 10 and 12,000 as well. And we were able to hook that to the back of somebody who did get up the hill and was able to self-recover.
I think you guys might have a photo that I sent along. I don't know.
We have it up.
Yeah, we're sharing.
We got the winch up.
It now.
Okay,
perfect.
So that's a product that comes out of the factory in Clackamas, Oregon, and it is waterproof, high performance, lifetime warranty, mechanical, 7-year electrical. It's a very, very good product, and I've very much tested it.
And there's a bunch of different types of winches too. So not only is it just that kind of winch, you've got winches for all different types of
Warn
vehicles.
makes winches from 750 pounds all the way to 30,000 pounds. So if you need to pull something, Warren's got something that you can.
Now, the winch in the picture, is that a nylon cable or a steel cable?
So that's going to, assuming I'm not sure which photo she sent, but it's likely synthetic. Yeah, so that's what we call Spydura synthetic rope. That is going to be a synthetic rope that's not steel. We offer steel. Warn offers steel in almost all of their other winches as well. And steel is still a good choice for those people who are using the winch in high abrasion environments. So the synthetic rope is lightweight and easy to handle. It's a great product for vehicle recovery. If you're using a winch for, say, like skidding logs or utility purposes, and you're dragging it on the ground all the time, steel is still a great choice. That's the reason why most tow truck operators still use steel cables, because they're dragging it on the ground. They don't have to worry about abrasion.
Oh, yeah, I was thinking the synthetic would be a lot easier to handle if you had to extend a long length of it out to get somewhere to use it. Be much easier to manage moving it than a steel cable.
100%. I've used both quite a bit, and steel cable always wants to have some tension on it, or else it sort of bird's nests because it has a memory to it. Synthetic is so much easier to use. It's just in pretty much every respect. So,
well, speaking of vehicle items, I know that another quintessentially important item that you used when you were driving and managing the Pajero by yourself was the Pack-A-Sport Day Tripper box.
Right. So
and that was so that's that big rooftop box. I think I sent you guys a couple photos of that too.
Yeah, that was quintessential. When you have a smaller vehicle, like the Pajero, having something on the roof can add extra storage, and that Pack-A-Sport Day Tripper was an absolute trooper. I know it's built super well because we've had it for a couple of years. It's very, very sturdy. It's not a super thin plastic cheap box. And I'll tell you what, this thing survived a 3,000-mile trip and over 300 miles of off-roading without even slightly jostling off the roof rack or anything. Super, super sturdy and a great way to carry extra gear.
Well, when you think about it, it's, like Andy said, it's not a plastic box. It's a basically hand-built and hand-formed fiberglass box. They're made in Eugene, so they're made in Oregon. So they're made in the USA. Again, buy ones, try ones, but you're kind of noticing a theme that we like to basically partake in is you buy the best you can afford, and then those types of products will last you hopefully a lifetime or be serviceable. So, I think the Pacasport Day Tripper is about 1,500, I believe. But again, I mean, he took that, 350 miles off road?
Yeah.
And to get to that, down to that event and back was over 3,000 miles. And we had rain, we had tons of dust, everything and all the contents.
Torrential rains, flash flood warnings, all that stuff. It didn't get a drop of rain in there.
Yeah. So that says something.
Cool.
Well, it's great to talk to you guys and get all this great information. As always, it's good to see you, and we thank you. Are you guys going to post this on your website? How are we going to get all this up there?
Well, I got most of it. I don't know if I've got all of it. I've got.
And Mike's got all the photographs that we've been rolling as well.
Yeah. So, what is y'all's website?
It's crankshaftculture.com.
Crankshaftculture.com. Okay.
And social media as well.
All right. Well, very good. Well, congratulations. Thank you all so much for contributing to this. And we wish you both a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
I want a sweater like that.
Merry Christmas to you guys. Happy New Year. Safe, happy, and healthy. We'll see you in the new year.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, let's make a pact and try to get together somewhere across the world in 2023.
I'm thinking Hawaii.
Yeah.
Oh, we're in.
Road trip. Bye, y'all. Thank you.
Road trip to Hawaii. Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, doesn't it? All right. Jeffrey's got something he wants to get in before the end of the show today. A little mention.
You got it there. I want to make mention to Marcus Griffin at We Fix Cars. Been working with Marcus the past week, and I want to just give him a plug and get the shop a plug. You've got great technicians. Old Greg and the service writers there, fantastic. And we're doing some fleet maintenance work for them, trying to get some things going for the shop.
We Fix Cars.
We Fix Cars.
I like
there you go.
And where are they located?
They are located. I got the address right here. It's 9239 North Houston Roslyn Road in Houston.
There you go.
There you go.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Yep. And by the way, I also wanted to thank Kathy Zekin for bringing our Christmas decorations here.
Yeah.
Did you notice?
Our set designer.
Our set designer and has got got the little Frosty the Snowman here.
Is that
we
what
got the
that
little
is?
truck, yeah.
Okay.
And we got a nice little Christmas tree. So
Very
thank
good.
you, Kathy.
That
we
Christmas
love you.
tree, when you sit a certain way, looks like it's a necklace, Don.
Yeah. Well, he's the topper.
Oh, yeah.
I am.
He is the topper.
Goes in with the black shirt.
Uh-huh.
Oh, usually you put an angel on top. This is
Oh, boy.
This is the devil on top.
the Don on the shelf.
anti-Christmas tree.
There you go.
That's it. All right, time now for Conrad's Car Clinic.
Well, today, just talk a little bit about some price increasing that's gone on. GMC has increased the price of their Sierra 1500 lineup for 2023. And you kind of look at the way that they do it. The regular cab went up $1,800. Now, GM has released, again, a regular cab standard bed pickup truck, which kind of went away for a number of years. Well, it came back in 2022, and again in 2023, it'll be out there. It'll be about $1,800 more than it was. In all of the GMC trucks now, the 2.7-liter turbocharged four-cylinder puts out 310 horsepower.
That's amazing.
430 foot-pounds of torque. That is the standard engine in pretty much all the Chevrolet and GMC trucks.
And it probably
this year.
gets fairly decent gas mileage, I would imagine.
The 5.3 V8 is available as an option, depending on the body style. The next step up over the regular cab standard box, or the Pro derivative truck, is the SLE, and that has gone up
A lot?
Yeah, that has gone up a little over $3,000.
Did I write that for you?
Yeah. That's gone up a little over $3,000. Now, they added some features in increasing the price, but again, those price increases can be significant. So if you're looking, find a 2022 or 2022 might be a little bit cheaper than the 2023s that are coming out. Another thing that they did was and we've talked about this a number of times, across the entire range of GM pickup trucks, the delivery fee is now $1,895.
Wow.
So that has gone up almost $600 as well, because it was about $1,295.
That's nuts. Okay.
And then, at the higher levels, the AT4 and the AT4X have gone up $4,000 for the AT4.
Wow.
And $5,200 for the AT4X.
Jeez. Why that much?
Quite a bit.
Wow.
The Denali.
That's a 1 year increase?
A 1 year increase.
That's that's 10% plus.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the AT4X is $81,000
GM isn't making enough money.
Oh, no.
Apparently not.
Billions of dollars they're making. Anyway.
Did he ever pay off the debt? I don't know.
So are you done?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just thought it was interesting that now, as they've increased the prices, the base engine is a Turbo 4, which really kind of struck me as
underpowered.
No, as different, because you would think most people would think that was a downgrade in the vehicle.
Oh, for the price of it, you want something massive,
right?
I want to get this one story on images of the sports car of the new Chevy Corvette E-Ray have appeared on the Chevrolet Configurator, published prematurely this week. They were discovered by CorvetteBlogger.com and later picked up by outlets including Car and Driver. The configurator for the new Corvette E-Ray briefly appeared online before going dark, CorvetteBlogger.com reported, confirming the long-rumored name. GM has owned a trademark for the E-Ray badge for nearly a decade and renewed it in 2020. The hybrid appears to be based on the Corvette C8 platform and features styling similar to the Z06 with a few notable exceptions. The front end has been reworked with larger, more sculpted air intakes.
Because they still got to cool the batteries.
The E-Ray also features exhaust pipes mounted in the rear corners rather than the center-oriented tailpipes of the Z06. The size of the electric motors and the number of electric motors can not be determined by the images posted on CorvetteBlogger.com. Media reports have speculated that the E-Ray could offer all-wheel drive with Chevrolet's LT2 6.2-liter V8. We're going to wrap up today's show right after a quick break.
Starting to work on your Christmas calendar? Be sure to add the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise-In Saturday, December 17th. You'll want to attend Tailpipes and Tacos Christmas Edition at the Loopy Tortilla in Katy, 8 to 11 a.m. It's the only place cruisers compete for Loopy's Chili Pepper trophies and other prizes. There's no charge to enter your vehicle for Best Hot Rod, Best Classic, or Best Modern Classic. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's coolest and most unique cruise-in and is your opportunity to see the best hot rods, show cars, classics, and resto mods. And get Loopy Tortilla breakfast tacos with adult beverages. There's no entry fee and cars will automatically compete for those much sought-after custom Loopy trophies and other prizes. It happens at the Loopy Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10. It's the Tailpipes and Tacos Christmas Edition, Saturday, December 17th. The In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show will be there too. Celebrate the Christmas season with friends and family at Tailpipes and Tacos. Saturday morning, December 17th, 8 to 11. We'll see you then, weather permitting. Want to take a minute to tell you about Gulf Coast Auto Shield, a Houston detail company like no other. Gulf Coast Auto Shield offers paint correction services that'll give your car, truck, or SUV a like-new shine. Afterwards, you'll want to protect it with a professionally installed nano-ceramic coating or protection film. Worried about your very expensive windshield getting damaged, broken, or cracked? Let Gulf Coast Auto Shield install ExoShield, a windshield protection film. Give John Gray a call today or check out their website, gcautoshield.com. Hey, whether you own a new, ultra-expensive, exotic, or a 5-year-old Suburban, Gulf Coast Auto Shield will help keep your investment looking like the day it rolled off the assembly line. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is conveniently located on the South Sam Houston Parkway, just south of I-69, the Southwest Freeway. Meet the staff and check out all of their services online right now at gcautoshield.com. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is now part of the iHeart family. Now you'll have access to 24/7 Car Talk anytime you need a fix. Just download the iHeart Radio app and ask for In Wheel Time Car Talk, and there we are. Be sure to save us in your iHeart library for instant access. No matter where you are, you have the best Car Talk Show right on your PC, laptop, or mobile device and never have to worry about finding us again. Of course, you can always get access to our video and audio streams via InWheelTime.com and your favorite podcast channel, and all of this is free to you. From the iHeart Radio app, you'll not only hear our Saturday morning live show, but the best shows of the past, updated weekly. Never miss a minute of up-to-date new car reviews, pre-owned reviews, Conrad's Car Clinic, informative interviews, automotive news, and the most fun car talk show on the planet. Just download the iHeart Radio app, search for In Wheel Time Car Talk, save it to your library, and with a tap of the icon, you'll be in touch with your favorite Car Talk team. In Wheel Time Car Talk, streaming now on iHeart.com/InWheelTimeCarTalk.
Well, that's a wrap for this week's In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. When you're on Facebook, check out our page, give us a like, tell your friends about us, and share our junk if you would, please. You'll get Conrad's Unicorn hunting features, along with all things automotive all week long, including new car reviews, upcoming events, cruise-ins, racing events, and other goodies. You can find the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show 24/7 on the iHeart Radio app. In Wheel Time can also be heard and seen live on Facebook, YouTube, and on InWheelTime.com every Saturday, 8 to 11 a.m. Central. 30-minute podcast available from your favorite podcast providers 7 days a week. The In Wheel Time Chief Engineer is David Ainsley. Our Marketing Advertising Manager and Video Technical Director is We Need More, Jeff Zekin. For Booking Agent and Podcast Editor, Mike Out of This World Mars, and Mr. Know-It-All, his royalty, King Conrad DeLong. I'm Don Armstrong. Today's In Wheel Time Car Talk Show was produced by Elf. Be sure and join us again for the next 3-hour In Wheel Time Car Talk Show, Saturday, December 17th. We'll be live at the Christmas Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise-In from the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex at 99 and the Grand Parkway and Kingsland Boulevard. Starting at 8 o'clock Central Time on all of these In Wheel Time Car Talk outlets. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you at the Tailpipes and Tacos next weekend.